have the personnel to match. And then additionally, just experiences that I had in Germany, coaching a completely different type of team, seeing how different schemes worked there, and then kind of being able to put it all together from not only last year, but also my experience, coaching under a lot of different defensive philosophies. And we're trying to pick the best of all worlds right now, and it's been going pretty well so far.
And to follow up, when do you expect for Beck Allen, Natasha Howard, and Stokes to arrive?
There's all going to be based on their series that they're playing overseas. So it just depends on if they win or lose.
Okay. Thanks so much, Coach.
You got it.
Sarah Valenzuela.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you again.
Hey,
in comparison to around this same just frame of time last year, do you think you're in a better place than you were to start this coming season than you were last season?
Yeah, I'd say so. For a lot of reasons. I think for one, having so many sophomores and then vets, it just changes the whole feel. I think there's so much more teaching of nuance now, because we're not as worried about just putting in the basics and having people learn the league and what's expected of them. I think the sophomores have all grown, and then we brought in Benaja and Sammy, two really good, vocal, smart vets who help us kind of direct traffic in practice, and they've done a heck of a job.
I have one really quick follow-up. Just coming in over. Ooh, sorry about that. My mute button hit itself. You mentioned earlier in the season, in training camp, that you had been holding Sabrina back just so she could ramp up a little bit without any hiccups. Has she been like a full go at this point, or has she still been doing a slow ramp up process?
Yeah, she's been getting pretty close to full go. There's not a ton of restrictions. We try to keep her reps reasonable, and we're still trying to scale her up. She's not 100%, but she's getting closer and closer every day. She looks good.
Thank you.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Hey, Coach. Thank you for joining us. Jeff Magliochetti with Empire Sports Media, Nets Republic, and Winsider. So you touched on your experience in Germany this year. What did you learn the most about yourself as a coach through your experiences over there? And what's the biggest takeaway you're going to take from and apply it to Brooklyn this year?
I think the answer is kind of twofold. What I learned from last year in the bubble season is what impacted the way that I coached in Germany. Just learning about how much more kind of demonstrative, authoritative I had to be in this head coaching role. Not necessarily in a negative way, just, really kind of harping on the points of accountability. Really having that messaging come from me consistently and quickly, every single day. I knew that I figured that out about, a month into the bubble season. I, made some adjustments, and then I went into Germany really kind of ready to start with that tone, and then saw the way that it worked, and now have brought that same tone to the Liberty, and it's gone really, really well. I mean, I think part of it is that we have tremendous people. The staff around me is fantastic. The players really respect each other, and the coaching staff, and so that makes things a little easier. So I don't want to take all the credit to an adjustment I made, because I think we just have some really, really coachable people here.
Totally fair. And, the first few games this season, Jackie touched on it before, that some of your international players, or those who partake in international endeavors, will not be available for, the first couple games. What are you looking to most accomplish over this opening stretch? And how do you plan to make up for the potential loss of Natasha, of a Beck Allen, et cetera?
Yeah, we do it by committee. We're built the way that we're built so that we have positional variability. We have people who can play multiple positions and step in and contribute. In terms of goals or the outlook for the first couple of games, we're focused on us. I mean, we're focused on getting better at the things we know we need to get better at, the things we work on every day. You know, there's been a lot of talk about addressing turning the ball over and finishing at the rim. You know, not giving away easy opportunities that often lead to an easy run out, be that a turnover or a missed shot at the rim, because you're unbalanced. You're not really in position to get back and play your transition defense. So, you know, that among a ton of other things, but those two have probably been the most consistent. That we're really going to be watching for and pushing to, you know, day by day. You're not going to see us go from a 20 turnover team down to a, you know, 4 turnover team overnight. It takes time. So we just want to celebrate those small steps as they come.
Appreciate your time. Have a great year.
Thanks.
Miles Ehrlich.
Hey, Coach. We're talking about turnovers last season. A lot of that was due to losing Sabrina so early and having Lasia Clarendon and Jazz Jones pressed into a lot of ball handling duty. And you went out and you got Sammy Whitcomb in the offseason, and obviously Sabrina's back. Benaja Laney can create her own shot a little bit. What kind of are the biggest differences for you coaching and knowing what that player grouping is like now? Is that going to solve a lot of the problems for you, do you think?
Yeah, I think, you know, having veteran players who know our system, having our sophomores know our system and know what's expected of them, to understand kind of the speed and force of the defenses in this league it's gonna take care of some of that. I think just, you know, the experience everyone had last year, be it on another team or with us, I just think that, you know, you can't say enough about the value of experience in the WNBA. It's really, you know, I don't think that the younger teams tend to trend toward more wins. I would say that the veteran teams tend to almost uniformly. So that's something that has been really fun to see. We're still struggling with it at times. And part of that's learning each other, because it's not a clean carryover of 12 players from last year coming to this year. You know, we're kind of having to relearn and incorporate new players. Oops. I kicked you there. I think we're good. And so that's you know, it's a mitigating factor in terms of how quickly we can get those things done. But I think in general, we take steps every single day.
Great. And like you've said throughout training camp, that a major focus and today was the defensive intensity. Last week, Jazz Jones told us about a drill that she was doing, a 4-on-3 drill with Sammy Whitcomb, and I don't remember who else she was out there with, but she was talking about how exciting it was, how she was getting stop after stop after stop. How excited have you just been? Oh, it was with Benaja Laney too. How excited have you been in seeing the players step up and really just appreciate this new focus on the defensive end?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, you guys, I can't say enough. They really are just, they're bought in. You know, we're not getting a ton of pushback in terms of system, in terms of, you know, offense or defense, philosophies, things like that. Like, everybody wants to be here. They want to win. They want to support one another. It's been great. And obviously, you know, I've said this in media throughout camp that there's that honeymoon phase. And, you know, right now we haven't hit adversity yet. We haven't, you know, outside of injuries, you know, we haven't gone on a losing streak. We haven't had a tough loss, you know, that maybe should have been a win. Those are the things that really test, you know, how tight knit a team is. And I think a lot of that, again, comes back to experience. I think the players that have been through it before, they know what to expect. They know how to rebound. And I think having a team that, you know, I think if they learned anything last year, it's how to bounce back from a loss. So we have a group that I think is going to be even more resilient this year. I think they're coming out of the gates with a heightened intensity and focus now, you know, primarily because they know what to expect.
Thanks, Coach.
Got it.
Next question, Dorothy Gentry.
Coach, hi, thanks for your time. You kind of already hit on it. You mentioned the word resilient. I was going to ask you, if you had one word or a theme for your team for this year, what would it be and why?
That's a good one. The word I'd like to use, I probably can't, but I would say tough. I mean, I would say that this team is gritty, dogged. You know, the the toughness and the blue collar kind of work ethic of the players that we brought in and the people we have here. You know, everybody's been an underdog, you know, for the most part, at some point in their careers or their lives here, and they appreciate this opportunity, and they know how hard it is to get a job and keep a job in this league. And I think that's everyone from coaching staff to front office to the players on the team. Everybody really brings that same mentality and that work ethic, and everybody, as I said, is focused on not only getting better themselves and bringing maximum effort every day and focus, but also lifting up those around them. And that's been one of the best things about this camp, is just watching these players pick each other up when somebody's having a tough day or makes a mistake. It's been a lot of fun. So I hope we can continue that.
Thank you.
All right, we have a couple more minutes with Coach. I'm going to only take a couple more questions. Let's go to Arden F.
Thank you so much. Coach, it's nice to meet you on behalf of FanDuel. Coach, just having a chance to know more about your background, especially when it comes to the psychology of coaching and how it's impacted your coaching in basketball. Would people be surprised if you used to tell how much things could change with what you know when dealing with certain players and situations? Because you've had a chance so far to really see a lot. You've been on championship competing and winning teams. You've been on teams such as now the Liberty that are rebuilding, and of course, dealing with college and youth players. So would people be surprised at how extensive that process could be to really understanding the ins and outs of players and coaches?
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's a really probably nuanced answer. But the short answer is yes. I think people would be surprised how much goes into team building, team dynamics, the psychology of coaching, holding people accountable, being consistent, being authentic all the while. There are a lot of challenges, and there's a million ways to do it. I think one of the things that I've learned from, you know, going from being a high school coach and then studying these things kind of from a philosophical perspective versus applying them, you start to see that there are definitely things that are probably idealistic, that maybe in a perfect world, that philosophy would be the best way to do things with a given group of players. But what you find is that different dynamics are created by different combinations of people. It's not to say that any one person would really be the same from team to team. It's to say that the way that they feed off of each other is something that can be in some ways unpredictable. And I think that requires and necessitates in a coaching staff the ability to adjust and understand what a given team needs. And I think, you know, one of the themes that's popped up for me has been low ego is really important in this job. In terms of authenticity, you know, it's really important that the players know that when I make a decision or when the coaching staff asks for, demands something, it's for the betterment of the team. It's not for one of our egos. I think that's a big takeaway, and that's something that has stayed true from my education all the way through, you know, my different stops in coaching. I think it's a big time takeaway.
Thank you.
I'm going to take one more from Alex Strum.
Hi, Coach. It's nice to meet you. Alex Stern. Thank you. The other day, one of your players was asked about it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and was asked about that, and said that they'll come to you sometimes for help if they're feeling down, if they're not having a great day. What are the support systems like within the organization for players or any member of the organization really to lean on one another?
Yeah, I think primarily we have some really, really good doctors here, both from a mental health perspective and then also from a clinical perspective, who are able to provide the necessary support. And I think when it comes to a really baseline issue of a day-to-day, coach, I'm struggling today, I can maybe put a Band-Aid on things and try to lend an ear. But I think when it comes to the things that we all deal with at times that are a little deeper, that probably have some roots to them, that's where we bring in our specialists for that. And we have some wonderful people from Baker Street who do a great job supporting players and staff, people I really trust and who I think their hearts are in the right place with everyone they work with.
Thank you. Appreciate you sitting down with us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Next up, we have Coach Shelly Patterson. So if you could just keep your hands up if you had questions for Coach that may apply for Coach Shelly. I'll try to go in order of the folks that I missed first. Anyone else who has questions, please raise your hand. All right, let's start with Azar.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Where am I looking?
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
It's all is good. All is well.
All right. All right. I had a real quick question. How much is it a benefit for this season that, unlike last season where the girls were playing every day and there was really no room to learn or kind of trying to get yourself mentally prepared? You had way short time, as opposed to this season. When you play, you're going to have more time to practice, more time to get ready, more time to rebound, more time to get healthy. How much of an advantage is that this season compared to last?
I mean, obviously, we're at a great advantage being able to have 3 weeks of just putting things in, installing, actually being able to teach these guys, especially some of our trigger plays and some of the actions where we didn't get a chance to last year. And so having these 3 weeks prior to our first game, actually going on 4, it's made a big difference. I think the downfall still is the COVID part of it, where we still don't have practice guys. This is probably the first season, with the exception of last year in the bubble, where we don't have guys and people that can help us and push us in practice. So we got to go against each other a lot and against the coaches. So, but either way, we have, it's made a huge difference, especially for the fact that we have sophomores, and bringing in the vets actually helps as well.
Next question, Lauren Moses.
Hey, Coach. Lauren Moses here with Valley Sports. Actually a teammate of Jocelyn Willoughby's. Sorry to see her down this year for you all.
You and me both.
Yeah. But my question is about Sabrina and her return, and just, the coaching staff's hopes for her this season. Coach Hopkins talked about her not being 100%, but she's looking really good. And we all know she's a very confident player. What are your hopes for her this year on the court and just being able to get back into her rhythm?
It's funny that you say that, because today at the end of our circle, I made a point to tell Sabrina that her just being out there and just the way she's so vocal and getting everyone organized and talking through every play, whether it's offensively and defensively, it really helps a lot. I mean, you can tell when she's on the floor, the organization, you could see it. You could see how people play off of her, the confidence that they have in her, and also knowing the fact that we have just having her back on the floor as an extra shooter makes a huge difference. So yeah, just the confidence that she brings it to the team, and everyone's starting to gravitate in that direction. In particular, you have Sammy Whitcomb and Benijah Laney, who are vets who understand exactly what she brings to this team.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Shelly P is also a vet, everyone. Just thought I should drop that. Danny Barlavi.
Did you say I'm a vet?
Yes, ma'am.
Better than OG.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for taking the time. This is Danny Barlavi with Metro Public and Winsider. I was wondering if you could talk about, is there anything about this group or about any of the individuals on the roster that has surprised you during training camp?
You know what? To be honest with you, especially early on with Michaela Onyenwere, I'm surprised at how well she actually shoots the 3, and especially from the WNBA line. Going into, I guess, evaluating her early, that was the one area where I thought she struggled. But out here, she's really been shooting the ball well. I appreciate that. And I want to say that Jasmine is still playing well. Jasmine Jones she gives you everything. She's such almost a vet in the fact that she talks just as much as Sabrina, and she runs that second team, and she's done a great job. So yeah, this is just really pleasantly surprised and pleased that Michaela's shooting the ball well.
Thanks so much.
Karina Mustafa.
Hi, Coach. Nice to meet you. I'm Karina from Venus Sports. So both you and Coach Hopkins both talked a lot about how there is a lot of experience on this team with the vets. So I'm just wondering, how has Dee Richards been adjusting as a rookie, and how have the vets helped her, or anything from your perspective on how she's been doing?
First of all, you can hear Dee. She's very vocal, and every time she speaks, she just fills that room with her voice. But she's learning. You know, one of the things when you come in from a senior to being a rookie, you have to learn to take a back seat until you can understand what's happening on the floor. And she's one of the people that ask for extra help all the time, whether she's staying after practice, coming before practice. You know, she's trying to make up for the fact that she is a rookie. And now getting here with a few of the veterans, she's just learning and trying to just buy her time, because she plays every position on the floor. So right now, that's what she's trying to learn, is everything. So the fact that she's trying, the fact that she plays everything, the fact that one of these days, I know she played point guard in college, you know, we'll ask her to do a lot of that, you know, a lot of different things. So she's also a pleasant surprise.
Amazing. Thank you.
Let's take a couple more for Coach. Let's go to Jackie Powell, then Jeff Magliochetti.
Hey, Coach, it's Jackie Powell with The Next. Nice to see you here on Zoom. So I wanted to go back and talk a little bit about Jocelyn Willoughby. We're all very sad. And I just wanted to know, I wanted to know, you know, who do you guys sort of have ready in the wings, ready to sort of step up and take some of the load that you were expecting her to take?
Well, first of all, Michaela Onyenwere is almost like a little Jocelyn. So she's learning. She's learning. She's had a chance to be with Jocelyn for a little while, but you know, you have to think about some of the people we still have coming. You know, you still have Natasha Howard coming, Rebecca Allen is coming, still have Kia Stokes. We have a lot of players that are coming, but Nigel Laney is another one who can play every position. So, you know, yeah, we did lose Josh, but we have a lot of people waiting. A lot of people are very similar in the things that they do and the things that they bring. So we can't replace Josh, but we have some people waiting.
Great, that's great to hear. And so to follow up, you've been in the Wubble and now you're finally in Brooklyn. Can you talk to us about sort of the most evolution you've seen, you know, that team in the Wubble versus the team that you have here now?
I mean, just the fact that they're a year older, they understand right away a lot of the verbiage that we use in practice. They know exactly how we're trying to run practice. So they're able to just, I mean, yeah, the Wubble was one thing, but being able to be here, have in our own facility, to be able to be in their own whirlpools and tubs, go into their own beds, have their own apartments. I mean, that in and of itself, it makes a huge difference. And Brooklyn is great. I mean, you think about it, and although the weather hasn't been great here lately, I don't know what's going on with the weather, but I do know that one of these days, all these outside restaurants and places that we could sit outside, once everyone is fully vaccinated, I think it's going to make a huge difference in the morale of our team.
Great. Thanks so much, Coach.
Hey, Coach. Jeff Magliochetti here with Empire Sports Media, Nets Republic, and Winsider. It's great to meet you for the first time.
Winsider, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. But, you know, a lot of people come to Brooklyn, by the way. A lot of people are going to be watching this New York Liberty team for the first time, and they're going to be introduced to your system and Coach Hopkins' system. You guys have collaborated a lot over the years. What's the one thing you want new fans, analysts to know about the system that you and Coach Hopkins have developed, and the one thing to know about your collaboration over the years?
I mean, first of all, he and I work together in Minnesota. You have to take the good things that made that team a champion and bring it here. And one of the things is just trying to create a great culture, which is one of the things and one of the reasons why we have the people that we have on our staff, on our team, and just the people that we involve ourselves with outside of this. Creating culture and making sure that they understand, yeah, we're a blue collar team. This is New York. That's what New York does. We fight, we stick together. There's not a lot of divas on this team. You know, we want to go out there and play hard and bring that kind of championship mentality that we had in Minnesota to this team and bringing in some of the vets. You have Sammy Whitcomb and you have Natasha Howard, who are also won championships. All that comes together and it creates such a different culture. And I'm already seeing just in these 3 weeks, especially with Sammy and especially with Benai Jelani, just how they are with each other, what they're bringing as far as that hard work and understanding what it takes to be a winner in this league. And so between Walt, myself, and the people that we brought here, that's one of the things that we're looking to do.
And you've been a WNBA staple, I believe, since '99, I believe, with Houston, right?
That's right.
And so you've been around for all but 2 years of this league. How great does it make you feel to see that this team, this league, and this team, as a matter of fact, has made it to the 25th anniversary? And I think this completes, you did it last year, but completes your trifecta of playing for all the original teams at this point with Phoenix and LA as well. So how great does it make you feel to see that this league has made it to its 25th year anniversary? And what does the future hold in your opinion? And how can they capitalize on that?
Wow, I didn't know that about all the teams that I was here with. You know what? It's really interesting because I don't even think about it. It just keeps going and going, the seasons and my seasons. And now at this 25th year, I had to think back and look, yeah, I've been in here 23 of those 25 years. And it makes me proud and just to see the evolution of what's happened. I was in 99 in Houston when Teresa Witherspoon hit that shot to a half-court shot to extend that series to another game. I was there. I was there when you have these dynasties like Houston and LA at one time that's won a back-to-back. They're the only team that's done that. And so just to be here and to see all of the things that have happened, just to see these new players. I mean, I'll give you an example. The things that we learned and was teaching player develop wise is totally different now. We had these young guys coming in doing all kind of different types of things with our players, wrong foot finishes and bump finishes and things that I would have never have taught a kid in 1999 how to go off the wrong foot to make a layup. But guess what? That's what we're doing now. And that's what the league is. And I've just seen that evolution. And yeah, it's really been a thrill just to be a part of this.
Appreciate your time. Have a great year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. If I didn't get to you, you're in luck. We have Jackie Jamelis. Coach Jackie Jamelis, please raise your hands if you have questions for Jackie.
Hey, everyone.
There she is. There we go. Thanks, Brian. All right, let's kick things off. Miles Ehrlich.
Hey, Coach. Miles Ehrlich with Nets Republic, Windsider, and Queen Ballers Club. Last time we spoke to you, you singled out how much of a sponge Michaela Onyenwere was and how she was just always smiling in practice. Are there any, in addition to that, like since that time, a couple of veterans have showed up, and are there any veterans on this team that you've before played against and now you see from a coaching perspective and it's just like a whole new angle and that you've seen positivity and a different side of them that you really hadn't known before?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Sammy's here, and a couple of other of our vets. Benijah actually came in 2015 season in Chicago with Benijah. So it's been a lot of fun to see her from this side of things. But I think just our older players across the board. I mean, they're just great people, great vets, super great with their teammates, the younger players on the team. And they've just been so much fun for me personally to be around. Very good with me, always listening to any things that I have to say to them. So they've been super wonderful, and I know that's going to be how it's going to be for the rest of the season. So just really happy to come into a team like this where everyone's so receptive and willing to listen to even me as well.
Thanks. And you also talked about how it was like a little bit tricky at first to be on the other side of things and to be a coach. And how have you settled in now that you're a couple of weeks on the job?
Yeah. It's been a really fun process. I think in the beginning I was super shy and nervous. But as time goes on and the days go on, I feel more comfort in finding my voice. And that's just going to take time for me. I think it's still really early in the season, but I've seen drastic changes just for me and my comfortability saying things. And it's been a lot of fun to be able to feel those things as I go on.
Thanks so much.
Doug Feinberg.
Hey, Coach, good to see you.
What's up, Doug?
Do they call you Coach? They call you Jackie? What's the terminology they use with you?
It kind of varies, but you call me what you want.
All right, it's good to know. My question for you is just what do you think the biggest thing you can bring to this team is as a young coach who is just finished playing, that you have sort of that both sides of things still, I would think.
Yeah. I'm coming in here and I'm also a sponge. I'm learning a lot from Walt and Shelly and Dustin. Just such a great staff here that I've been able to just really learn from, and they're teaching me as I go. So I just think I'm in a really fortunate, amazing situation here. And what I try and bring to the players is just the player side of things, the player aspect. It was so fresh of me being a player just last summer in the bubble. So it's really easy for me to relate in practices and just situations. And I try to be a voice for them and see things as I would see it as a player. So I think that, just that bridge from coaching staff to the players is really important for me in a role that I'm going to play here.
Thanks, Jack.
You're welcome.
Alex Strum.
Hi, Jackie. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Brooklyn.
Thank you.
So after the first scrimmage, which was about a week ago or so, the major thing that everyone was talking about afterwards was rebounding and how we didn't do a good enough job rebounding. How has that been addressed, so to say, in training camp and practices since then, with the season around the corner?
Yeah. It's definitely been addressed, and we know with rebounding and things like this, details like this, it's just heart and it's determination and the willingness to go get the rebound. So we're obviously enforcing that as a staff. And ultimately that's going to be up to the players, to get that done. But they hear us as a staff every day on them. And, we're about to play Indiana, a very big team, a team that is a great offensive rebounding team and just rebounding team in general. So we know we have our work cut out there. But yeah, that's rebounding is going to be enforced for every game, and it's definitely something that we're on them about every day. And they've responded really well since the last scrimmage. So hopefully we can continue to show that and make those improvements.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Rafiq Lewison.
Hey, Coach, this is Rafiq with Nothing But the Sports Talk. I just want to ask you, with the season opener against the Indiana Fever coming up, what is the importance of winning a season opener in any basketball season, whether it's as a player or as a coach?
Yeah, it's huge. It definitely sets the tone. It would be amazing to come out and get 2 wins against Indiana, a team that I think that we can get the win against. Every team is going to be hard. Every win is going to be fought and earned for sure. But I think that it's a great momentum setter moving forward into the season. And we can open the gates in a really good way if by getting 2 wins.
Last question, Chris Shern.
Just wanted to get my camera going, even though you can't see me. I got some horror movie stuff going on right now. Jackie, my question's for you. We're 2 weeks into camp now. Do you miss it at all?
Good question. Yeah, there's times I miss it, definitely. And then I just put myself in the situation that I'm at. And my process of from player to what I'm doing now has just been so amazing. And it's just been a really smooth transition for me, still being able to be in the WNBA and a part of what I love the most. It kind of pushes those feelings aside in a sense. There are certain times on the floor in practice where I'm like, dang, I would love to get in this drill. I would love to do this. But I'm still so close to it that I don't really think that I felt that that moment of like, dang, I really miss this. So I think I'm pretty content right now with what's going on.
Hard to extinguish that competitive fire, so I had to ask.
For sure, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach Jackie. And next up, we're going to have Sammy Whitcomb. Please raise your hands if you have questions.
good.
Awesome. Jackie Powell.
Hey, Sammy, good to see you again.
You too.
So I wanted to ask like a two-parter about sort of what yesterday meant to you as a first-time mother celebrating Mother's Day, but also in general, what do you want your son Nash to gain from watching you play?
Well, to your first question, it was really special. Kate and I have spent a fair amount of time trying to fall pregnant, so it was that much more special knowing kind of the hardship we'd faced just in the lead up to it, and just how badly, you know, we wanted Nash. So to have him now, to get to celebrate him as moms, means so much. You know, we don't take that for granted. We know there are lots of people that are, you know, that struggle with that and continue to. So it's incredibly special that we were able to do that. We feel very fortunate. I think, you know, I want to be, I want Nash to know I pursued my dreams. You know, I want Nash to know that I've did everything I could to, to follow through with them. And I think it's a pretty incredible thing what Kate is doing as well, and her sacrifices for us. So I think seeing that, seeing what that looks like, what a partnership really looks like, is a really great example for him. But knowing that if you follow your dreams and if you put the work in, there's nothing you can't do. I think that's hopefully a takeaway for Nash moving forward.
Beautiful. And I want to ask you about mental health awareness, because that seems to be a very important thing on this team. Dee Dee mentioned that when she first onboarded with the team, that was a huge focus. So can you take us through sort of how this team really takes mental health seriously, and what's your advice to Liberty fans who might be struggling, if they are?
I think we definitely have resources offered to us, which is obviously huge. I don't know that every league, organization, all of that does that. So we have the means, if you need help, to get help, and it's encouraged, it's supported here. If there's anything you need in terms of that, it's not just the basketball, it's not just the physical, the mental side of it's incredibly important. So yeah, that's absolutely something that's nurtured here as well, which is great, because sports, as you know, can be there can be that mental side of it that is really stressful, and people can struggle with that. So I think that's great. I think to our fans, to anyone who would be listening, don't be afraid to ask for help. That actually takes an incredible amount of strength to ask for help. So I think if you need it, find someone that you trust, ask for help. And yeah, just don't be afraid of that. There's people in your corner.
Thanks so much, Sammy.
Thank you.
Sarah Valenzuela.
Hey, Sammy. Sarah Valenzuela from the New York Daily News. It's a pleasure to officially meet you. Just going back to you being a first-time mom, with the new CBA, I was just wondering if there has been anything you've been able to benefit from, just in terms of like childcare. I know it's kind of early, the season hasn't really started, and some things might be different with COVID, but how has the league made it sort of easier to be a mom, be a working mom?
Yeah, there's definitely the childcare component of it. And then obviously it can be, childcare, or it can be your partner, I think, can be included in that instead. So obviously I can travel with Kate, and she can be, I think, quote unquote, the childcare. So she can come with on trips. You get a 2-bedroom apartment. There are things like that are really nice features for you if you are a parent and a mom, that makes it a little bit easier. I think, being on the road, obviously, if you can have that childcare, that partner travel with you and help you and look after your baby while you're playing, that helps. So yeah, it's still a little bit early. Like I'm not 100% sure of all of the things. It's something that I'll need to continue to look into, but so far everything that has been provided has been incredibly great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Miles Ehrlich.
Hi, Sammy. Miles Ehrlich with Nets Republic, Winsider, and Queen Ballers Club. I'm actually going to ask you a question that we typically ask on our Women's Basketball Weekly chat on Clubhouse. Okay. And it's, what was your welcome to the WNBA moment? whether it was a matchup with a certain player, an experience on the court, something like that. What was that moment that you felt like you were really a part of the league for the first time?
I would say it was training camp, honestly. Coming into, it was at the Storm, obviously, at that time 4 years ago, and I would say the level of focus, intensity, everything just from day one at camp there was like a wake-up call for me. And it was physical. It was, it was with the actual team itself. It was with practice players, the guys that came in, but everything. It was just, meant like you had to be tuned in. You had to be sharp. You couldn't make mistakes. You had to, to just really be sharp. And I think for me, that was like this is it. This is what it's about. And it's not wait for the league, for the season to start, for the games to start. It's camp, it's the prep, it's all of those things that go into it. And I think that's why it's the best league in the world, why it's the toughest. But for me, it was like day one at camp, like Sue Bird, Stewie, all of those players that are there, and they want to win and they want to get better, and they get that it starts straight away.
Awesome. And you had such an unconventional journey to get to that point, to that training camp. So as opposed to that, now you're on a guaranteed deal for the first time. How has that changed your approach at all? Or is it still, now, everything that it takes in order to make this team and to stay on the roster and to kind of pay it forward for these rookies that don't have that kind of job security right now, since you've had those experiences?
Yeah, it definitely hasn't changed my approach, but I do think I am more cognizant of, being a tone setter, I suppose, with those things, and understanding that like now it's my job to be the ones that, like, when people come into camp, whether it's rookies or other players, they understand the level, the expectation, how hard it is to make a team and what it takes day in and day out to prepare for an upcoming season. So I take that kind of responsibility and accountability and approach to it, but I still very much feel like I need to bring those things and to do those things every day, and guaranteed contract or not, like I want to get better and I want to make sure that I'm, the best version of myself for this group.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Last question, Christina Williams.
Hey, Sammy, it's Christina Williams with Girls Talk Sports TV. My question for you is, recently we've seen a surge in Australian players coming over to play for the WNBA. What does that say about, the pathways to professional basketball with players coming over from Australia?
Yeah, I think it speaks to the quality of, the talent over in Australia. That league, the WNBL over there, produces a lot of tremendous players. And I think it's just that pathway of basketball development over there. It's a little bit different than it is in the States. It's not like high school hoops and AAU. They have, national team stuff and state stuff. And it's a bit, they're playing in tough competitions against older players at a younger age, whether it's in these semi-professional SBL leagues or, as development players in that WNBL as well. So I think there is a fantastic amount of talent over there. And I think you'll continue to see that. Like it's, Ezzy and Shyla and some of these players, obviously, like there's Liz and there's Becca Allen and Steph Talbot and that Leilani, it's endless with sort of some of these vets. But I think there's a wealth of fresh talent that's coming up as well. And I think you'll continue to see, Australian names.
Can I just follow that up with, obviously it's the 25th anniversary season for the WNBA. Who did you look up to coming up?
Diana. Yeah, it was Dee for sure. I think, being a wing player, being a quote unquote shooter, someone that, wanted to make it in the league in that position, that to me, she was always the best. Her swag, the passion and fire she played with, and then, she was just so good. So she was really fun to watch. I watched her a little bit at UConn, but primarily once she was in the league. And yeah, I mean, that's who I wanted to be. That's the style of player I wanted to match.
Thank you so much. Best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sammy. Next, we have Bridget Clarendon. Reminder to raise your hands if you have questions. We will start with Jeff Magliochetti.
Good afternoon, Laisha. Thank you for joining us today. Good to see you again. Jeff Magliochetti here with
Hi, Jeff.
Winsider and Nets Republic. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Oh, good. Also, congratulations on your new addition this offseason. And seems like your team has made several more on the court as well. So what's it like working with the newcomers, and what's it like to have, some veteran talent to work with now that you've been on the court with them in Brooklyn for a couple weeks now?
It's really nice. It's been awesome. I played with Benijah a little bit at Connecticut. Obviously, she's a really good player, adds a lot of toughness. Sammy's really good. It just experiences everything in this league. So to play with those players, it just elevates the game. So I'm really excited to get Rebecca and Tasha here and see the full picture of what our team is going to be.
In the WNBA's continued efforts in speaking out on society and issues in society, what challenges are presented in returning to home arenas and markets, and how can they be overcome?
Ask that again.
As the WNBA continues to speak out on issues beyond the court, last year it was, it was good to do so because, you had the bubble and, you guys could communicate a lot easier. So what challenges are presented in returning to home arenas this year, and how can they be overcome as you seek to get your message out further?
Got it. Yeah, I mean, people have families and lives. Obviously I have a child, so life is harder. Just logistically, there's a lot more to deal with, but I think our league is still super passionate. The players aren't any less committed to a lot of the work that we were doing last year. So obviously we're not in a bubble where people don't have anything else to do, but we've still been doing this work in the off season. There's a social justice council for a reason. There's an executive committee and a lot of people that are still really committed to doing this work. So life is getting back to normal, and we're just gonna have to continue to show up and do the work if it really means a lot to us.
Appreciate your time. Have a great year.
Thank you.
Cheryl Coward.
Hi, Laisha. Good to see you. I just wanted to ask you, it was just announced that your college coach who you went to the Final Four with is the new head coach at USC. What's your reaction to Lindsay being back in the Pac-12 and her influence on you as a player and an activist?
Well, I texted her actually right before this and I said, boo USC, but I'm happy for you to be back in the Pac-12. So I'm always going to have that loyalty to Cal, but really as someone who loves the conference, who works for the Pac-12, I'm super excited and happy for her. It's going to be weird seeing her in the crimson and gold colors, but the Pac-12 really needs her. Her visibility, what she's going to do to elevate the conference that's already been really good is awesome. I texted her, let me know if she needs an assistant coach. So maybe see me in the crimson and gold here coming up soon too.
All right, thank you.
Danny Barlavi.
Hi, Alicia. Good to talk to you. This is Danny Barlavi from Winsider and Nets Republic. So going back to the Social Justice Council a bit, I was wondering if you could speak a bit about the issue you all are prioritizing this season being the health of Black women and girls. And yeah, kind of just take us inside the discussions around that issue on the council and how you arrived at that as an area of focus.
Can you say the last part again? You're not coming through clear.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was wondering if you could talk about, just kind of take us inside the council's discussions around the issue of Black women and girls' health and kind of how you arrived at that as an area of focus.
I mean, similar to the Say Her Name campaign, like this is obviously stuff, these issues directly affect literally who we are. We've been young Black girls who grew up, who are often underrepresented in our communities. And we kind of have some, I don't know if we're calling them buckets or pillars about social justice and what we want to do this season. And one of them is like health, and, the vaccine falls in that. You saw the education and awareness we did around the draft. Obviously, policing falls in public health and safety. We have an LGBT section that we're trying to do in the policy section. And so all of these issues overlap because they're all intersectional. You can't really separate them. But in terms of, working with Black girls and young women, it's who we are. And it's so often who we don't see reflected in society. We don't see the statistics talked about, again, like we said with Breonna Taylor, we don't see people marching in droves in the streets for young Black women and young Black girls who so often show up for other people but don't get that. So in that way, it's really a no-brainer. It's just trying to really nail down the work we want to continue to do, because like, look at my face, I'm exhausted. There's so much work to do. There's never going to not be enough work to do.
Thanks so much.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Leisha, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. So I want to ask you about if you've thought about the concept of actually playing in New York, because this was something that you did not have last year. So how are you going to incorporate what you do into this idea of that you're playing for New York City, you're playing for the Brooklyn community?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a good question. I think in some ways, yeah. In other ways, like not having had fans yet, it hasn't really sunk in. It's sunk in as I've been like walking around the streets and hearing the honking and realizing like, wow, I'm in New York. This city is like beautiful and amazing, and all the food that I've eaten. But I definitely think it's still sinking in, like the reality of living in Brooklyn. My wife and I are like, this place is cool. Like we could get used to living here, and we're really enjoying it so far. So, you know, whatever city I'm in, whatever team I've played for, like I've always tried to be that representation for people. But it's actually really nice to be in a place where like I can walk down the street and like nobody really cares, because like this haircut doesn't even look that cool in Brooklyn. Like I've seen 10 or 15 people, I'm not the player, walking around that's like, oh, who is that random Black, queer, trans looking person? It's just like, oh, hey, head nod. Everybody keeps it pushing. So like that's actually what I've appreciated about Brooklyn, that it feels more like, you know, a salve for a person who's like different or weird or eclectic, because you get such a melting pot of different people in Brooklyn. And so of course there's a level of you know, pride that I'm going to have actually have signed with Brooklyn and be able to play here and to be a part of the organization that has been here from the start and celebrating the 25th anniversary. Like I'm such a West Coast kid. It's really cool just to experience so many things about the, you know, age of the East Coast and the fact that this org has been around from like day one.
Right, great. And so I wanted to ask you something that I asked Sammy, and that's, you know, being a new parent, what is something that you want your child to gain from getting to watch you play?
That's a good question. I mean, hopefully I'm still playing when they're old enough to like really know what's going on, but I want them to really see the joy that I have when I play basketball. Like sports can be really such a grind, and the joy is what keeps me going every day. Like you see youth sports particularly be taken over right now about this like one-stop shop. You got to play one sport from the moment you're 6 years old because you're going to become a professional. So I really want my baby to just see that like I play this game because I love it and because it brings me a lot of joy and community, and for them to just see that and to know that they could play sports because they want to, or like they could do something else completely different with their lives, but just to see that, how much it really brings me a lot of joy.
Thanks so much, Leisha. I appreciate it.
Last question, Ari Chambers.
Hey, Lay. You mentioned your exhaustion. You also mentioned everything that you've been doing to activate in the past 365 days. And I know we've discussed how exhausting it can be, but I want to know what are some ways you've been taking care of yourself and how you've been able to find balance within all your activism and parenthood and all that.
I've been spending all my money in all these cool Brooklyn restaurants.
As you should.
And there's so many. My wife and I are overwhelmed. We had ramen the other night and we had Thai food. I didn't get ice cream yet, but I'm definitely about to get that. We've really been enjoying like going, we're both vaccinated, so we can do the outdoor dining, and it's been, you know, warm enough here in Brooklyn for us to go sit outside. So we've gone out to eat like a ton, and that being like one of our favorite things to do, that's brought a lot of like, you know, sense of normalcy, the fact that we can go eat. We've got it down packed with the baby now, like how we could change the diaper while we're out and, you know, pass them back and forth. And that's really been the big joy, because sleep, you know, like Sammy probably told you, is sometimes here, sometimes not there. But eating out, and that's been really just giving us some normal sense of peace. And then being a parent, like you just have to find your boundaries. That's something I had to do even before our babe was born. It's just like, if there's no me and there's no healthy me, like there's no fight to be had. So this is why the council was so important, and like building the next generation of leaders is important, because like the WNBA and social justice is not just Leisha Clarendon. Like it's the league, it's the players, it's who we're empowering as the next generation. So I should be able to walk away and the council still exists and know that like it's in really good hands. So part of me, if I can't make a call because I'm with my babe, it's like there's other people that I know are very capable of doing this work, that are very passionate about it, that are going to continue to carry the torch. And that also gives me a lot of peace to know that like, we got this.
Look, take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lasia. Next up, we have
Thank y'all.
Benijah Laney. I'll try to get to the folks we didn't get to with Lasia. Please raise your hands if you have questions. Let's give her a moment to get into the room. All right, let's start with Danny Thompson.
Benijah, Danny Thompson with the 3-point conversion. Great to see you as always. Now we're going from Atlanta now to New York. When you found out you were going to New York, what was the first thing going through your mind? And did you feel like you bet on yourself? I remember you said last year you bet on yourself completely. Did you ever think that you would end up in this moment and now the biggest city in the country?
At first, no, but now that I'm here and when I did sign, I mean, I was really excited. I was really excited for the opportunities that are here in New York. I was really excited about the team, the coaching staff, just the organization as a whole, you know? So I think that was my initial feeling once I signed with New York.
And secondly, what did you learn from your 1 year in Atlanta? You came in as a free agent and you left as arguably one of the best defensive players in the league. What did you learn about yourself and your whole process throughout the whole entire bubble last year?
Just that I think that regardless of people's perception of me or, you know, whatever box that I was placed in, you know, I was more than that. And all I needed was the opportunity to be able to, you know, show what I was capable of.
Chris Shern.
Hey, Benijah. My question is, you know, everybody that's came on this Zoom call so far has mentioned your name as being a driving force throughout camp. So being that seasoned vet on this team, which is still very young, what's that position for you like being here with the Liberty?
Yeah, you know, just coming into that veteran role, I think this is the first time I've really looked at myself as a vet. I think just because last year I was still trying to, you know, find my way, but now that, you know, I am that and I've kind of established myself a bit, it's just making sure that I'm continuing to feed off of that momentum and just, you know, pour myself into the team, just, you know, leading by example, just giving them everything that I have, making sure that I'm continuing to communicate, you know, on both ends of the floor, just, you know, just kind of doing a little bit of everything to, you know, give to the success of the team.
What's your initial impression so far of Michaela and Didi as well?
They've been great, you know, they're hungry and they're open to learning. You know, it goes back to, you know, me being that vet and them like looking to me, you know, for advice and everything. And I just, like I said, I just want to continue to give to them everything that I can, but they've been great on, you know, on both ends. Michaela, you know, she gets in and gets after it. She's very aggressive, you know, as a rookie, which is really good for us. You know, as well as Didi, they're just, you know, trying to find their way and just continuing to work hard.
Thank you very much, Benijah.
Pepper Pursley.
Hi, Benijah. This is Pepper Percy with The Next. So I was just wondering, what does it mean to you to be a part of this Liberty franchise that has been around for all of the WNBA's 25 years?
I mean, it's great, you know. I love everything that the Liberty is about, you know, both on and off the court. It's someplace that's close to home. You know, I grew up spending, you know, holidays in Brooklyn, summers in Brooklyn, when my aunt lived here. So to be here now and to be able to play for for the New York Liberty is amazing. You know, it's close to home for me, so I have all the love and support that I could imagine right here. And just the organization, I can't say enough about them.
Thank you.
Next question, Tim Crowley.
Hey, Benija, Tim Crowley, WRHU. You had mentioned a moment ago just trying to be there as, you know, that new role of a vet and working with this rookie class. But back when we spoke to you in February during your first time here, you talked about wanting to be a mentor to Sabrina and helping these rising second-year players. So what have your impressions been of that group so far?
You know, they've come back and everyone has been great. Like there is nobody that had, you know, from last year is stagnant, that looks the same, is in the same spot. Everybody looks like they really, you know, we're putting in the work this off season. And I think that, you know, it'll be really good for us as well as, you know, the fans and everybody else who kind of saw New York last year, you know, as that 2-20 team. You know, I think we're going to really take a lot of people by surprise because they've been really good, you know, and they've just the same way that I helped them, you know, they helped me. So I'm really excited about everything that we'll be able to do with, you know, Sabrina coming back and being healthy, just her leadership that she brings to the team. As well as, you know, everybody that's returning as second years with, you know, Jasmine and Joyner, you know, everybody's been really, really good.
Thank you.
Julianne Vianney Brain.
Hi, Benija. Can you hear me okay? Julianne here. I just want to make sure you can hear me. I unmuted.
Oh, yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
great. Hi, yeah, I just wanted to ask you a question. I covered Rutgers a bit, so I remember when you were playing for Rutgers and you're back now in the same neck of the woods. What is that emotionally for you like? And, you know, what did you learn from Coach over there? I know that Viv probably prepared you pretty well for the W and all that you probably went through at Rutgers.
Yeah, you know, she definitely has prepared me for this moment. You know, I think the most important thing that I took from Rutgers is the little things, you know, and I think that that's kind of what makes, you know, Rutgers players stick, you know, is that we do the little things, you know, the attention to details, a lot of the things that, you know, majority of players don't do, you know, whether it's communicating, whether it's, you know, getting extra possessions, rebounds, you know, just being in the right spots, just the understanding of the game. You know, she poured all of her knowledge into us. And so I think that, you know, she did a great job of preparing myself as well as every other Rutgers player that's in the league.
That's great. Well, welcome back to the area. Thanks.
Thank you.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Benija, thank you for joining us. Jersey native here myself, so welcome back to the area. Jeff Magliochetti here with Empire Sports Media, Winsider, and Nets Republic. So you were a bit of a latecomer to camp. So how long did it take you to kind of master the Hopkins, Patterson, Jamelis Gray system out there? And what were your impressions of the team, and how long did it take to, you know, click with them?
Not very long because during the time that I was overseas, we stayed in communication. You know, they gave me the program so that I could see some of the plays, kind of, you know, just gave me a rundown on what the offense would look like. So that made it a bit easier for me, you know, coming in late. And, you know, I wasn't too late. I missed a few days, but even though I wasn't able to be on the floor, I was able to watch some of the practices. So, you know, just being able to sit back, watch and absorb, you know, it allowed me for, you know, a smooth transition into practice, and it's been good.
And to introduce yourself to Liberty fans, old and new alike, what's the one thing that they should know about you, basketball or otherwise?
Basketball or otherwise? Let's go with basketball. And I just, I guess that I'm gonna just come out every night and just give my all, play hard, you know, just do each and everything that I can do to help bring the team success.
Welcome aboard. Have a great year.
Thank you.
Last question, Miles Ehrlich.
Hey, Benija. A few months ago in the Women's Basketball Weekly Clubhouse, we spoke with Danny Miles, who you've trained with. He said that Nikki Collin was a huge part of your breakout last season due to her encouraging coaching style. Is there any specific advice that Coach Collin gave you that you carry with you still?
Just to be myself, not to hold back, you know, just to to trust in everything that I can do because I've put in the work to be where I am. So just to, you know, kind of trust that and play.
Great. And as a quick follow-up, Coach Hopkins is a similarly positive player coach who seems like he's put together a system that'll give you the green light from all over. How much did that personnel and system fit influence your decision to join Brooklyn as a free agent?
You know, it definitely had a big part in my decision because, you know, like I had the year that I had, and I want to, you know, continue to build off of that. And understanding that, you know, he was very similar in that coaching style, you know, it really spoke to me for me to continue to be the player that I believe that I can be. And it's just great to play for someone who, you know, believes in me as well. And, you know, aside from that, just, you know, the team, you know, everybody, they've been great in terms of, you know, me being that player.
Great. Thanks so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Benijah. Next, we have Asia Taylor. Please raise your hands if you have questions. I'll try to get to the folks I didn't get to with Benijah. All right, let's start with Jackie Powell.
Hey, Asia, Jackie Powell here. Nice to see you.
Hi, nice to see you too, Jackie.
Yes, yes. I wanted to ask you a little bit about sort of what has been different in training camp this year. And what I mean by that is, you know, you've been in camps with Walt and Shelly before, but what stands out as something different?
It's a good question, actually. I would say Walt's philosophy, there's some defensive principles and stuff that's different this year. And I know it's different for a lot of players, and even me who's seen a lot of different types of, I know every defensive scheme, every way to guard a ball screen, every, you know, offensive play set pretty much. But this year it's a bit different in that he wants very specific things. And we want to be a defensive team this year and stuff. So his principles are a little different, but, you know, I think they work. I think that they're going to catch a lot of teams slipping this year to say that. But yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I'm just trying to learn it. Everybody's learning. It's new for everybody. So we're trying to figure it out.
And to follow up, so your teammate Joyner told us something either yet a couple of days ago. It's hard to keep track of the days.
Same.
She talked to
either a practice day or off day. There's really no in between. So yeah, I don't know what day today is.
May 10th, but anyway. So Joyner was talking to us about the defense, and she said that this year that other teams are going to feel us. They're going to feel the New York Liberty. Yeah. So how do you react to that comment, and how do you hope the fans react to the type of defense that you all are playing?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, for the fans, I mean, I know they want to see a lot of offense. I mean, let's just be real about it. They want to see high-scoring games and have more and more reasons to cheer and clap. But I think that the defense tied with our offense is going to be really good this year, and it's going to, you know, really help us get out in transition and get the easy offense that we want. So yeah, when Jordan says, you know, we're going to make them feel us, you know, that's on both sides of the floor, but it's going to start with the defense.
Great. Thanks so much, Asia.
Miles Ehrlich.
Hey, Asia. Earlier in training camp, you talked about being a vet despite not feeling like one. How has your experience in the past helped you to maintain your mental health during the rigors of these last couple of weeks?
I mean, I've just seen so much. And, you know, with my experience and stuff, and just, I mean, I've been around every type of player, just about every type of coach, you know, so I kind of, you know how these camps go. And I know that at the end of the day, you know, coach has a lot of players, and every camp has a lot of players, a lot of talented players in them, and you never know which way it's going to go. All you can do is just do your best and make sure that you walk away with no regrets of showing everything that you can show and everything that you bring. But yeah, when these camps starts, I mean, like I said, everybody's competing. It's so much talent in women's basketball. And so few teams, man. But it's very competitive. And like I said, show what you can show, control what you can control, and let the coaches make the decisions.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Asia. We have a couple players who have some time constraints, so we're going to switch it up a little bit. Next, we're going to go with Sabrina Ionescu. Thanks, Asia.
No problem.
Just a reminder to raise your hands if you have questions. Let's start with AJ McCord.
Hey Sabrina, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. Hey, so just wanted to catch up, see you just a few days before the opening. I know this one is so different than what you imagined last year. What are some of the emotions that you're going through leading up to your first, your second, I guess, but your first like big, opening with your team outside of the bubble?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Obviously, it feels like a new season. It is a new season, but it definitely feels different being in New York and playing in front of fans, our families, being in attendance. It kind of feels like my first season. It basically is, but I think it's just kind of the excitement and nerves around like not knowing really game day routines, not really having any of that figured out, and just kind of ironing that out now and getting those jitters out, and then just excited to play.
I know we have a lot of questions for Sabrina, so if we could just keep it to one, everyone, that would be great. We're going to go to Sarah Valenzuela next.
Hey, Sabrina, good to see you again. Just coming into this first game as compared to coming into your first game last season, do you think you're in a better place? Not just physically, like mentally with the team that's been constructed so far?
Yeah, I think just having that experience and that first game in the league out of the way definitely helps. And although, I didn't have that many under my belt last year, I think just having one, let alone, helps a lot. Just knowing what to expect coming into this season. And obviously haven't played against a lot of the teams, so it's the first time that I'll, be matched up with them and they'll be matched up with me. And then also just the team around, the team around me and the team around kind of what we're building here. It's been really exciting. Camp's been really fun. Coach Walt's done a great job. And so I'm just excited to kind of start a new season and a new chapter for this organization and get rolling.
Lindsay Dunn.
Hey, Sabrina, Lindsay Dunn here for City News in Toronto, Canada. And a lot of us, excited to see your game this year. And I remember about a week ago, you were talking about, rehabbing, getting to where you are now. But when anybody I talk to that's injured, come back from injury, they talk about the mental game being an entire another ball game and it being a grind. How has the last couple of weeks alone been for you, kind of being in training camp and preparing for rookie season, kind of 2.0 starting this Friday?
Yeah, I think it's been great. It's just exciting to finally get back out there and, do what I love doing, which is playing. I think before it's a lot of, you kind of get in your head, you think what's going to work, what's not, how you're going to adjust to, sitting out for 10 months and not being able to play the game. But I think now that I'm finally back out there and playing and just getting like live reps under my belt, I think it's been really fun. I'm just excited to be back to the game and appreciating every moment and every practice that I have to be out there.
Ryan Thorburn.
Sabrina, I'm just curious, obviously you were rehabbing. How closely did you follow Pac-12 basketball and Oregon basketball last year? And what did you think of what Sedona did, kind of speaking out at the NCAA tournament? And is it strange that Kelly's had so much turnover with coaches and players? And, obviously Sedona and Niara were there, but I don't think anyone on the team played with you and you haven't been gone that long. Just your take on the whole West Coast basketball as you watched it.
Yeah, I definitely was watching, keeping up with a lot of the players, the coaches, kind of hearing a lot about what this, struggles that they were going through with being in a bubble in the tournament and just the ups and downs of kind of what they were going through. But I thought they played great. I mean, they lost a lot of key players last year with, me, Mignon, Satu, Ruthie. And so I think they kind of bounced back and were able to grind out a season. And obviously, I mean, in every season, my freshman year, we had a lot of players transfer. So it's just kind of how it goes. I have not played, like you said, with the players that are there now, but I think, they're going to buy into the program. Kelly always does a great job with, the team that he has. And as long as they do that, they're going to do great there.
B. Terrell.
Hey, Sabrina. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So recently you, with the help of Nike and Xbox, you recently provided custom kicks in an Xbox to your club program. What's that like to actually be in a position to give back and serve as an inspiration to not only your community where you're from, but potentially little boys and girls everywhere?
Yeah, it's a blessing. I always was looking at, people doing that when I was younger in the basketball world and just seeing how impactful that is and, what a blessing that is to the community and the kids around it. And so especially being able to give back to my club team, an organization that I played for and kind of turned me into the player that I am today, it was an honor to just seeing them smile and appreciative and ask so many questions and anything that I could do to help, obviously I want to and hopefully can expand that now into New York and in the marketplace that I'm at now.
Christian.
Hey, Sabrina, I'm just curious about the Rookie of the Year award. I know you're probably not concerned with individual awards at all, knowing you and the competitor you are, but the way the WNBA has it, as soon as you step on the floor, that's your rookie season. Do you think they should look into that rule, and do you think the rule should be changed?
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be similar to like the NCAA. If there's a certain amount of games that you can play in order to be considered a rookie or not a rookie. I obviously played in about 2 games. So if you personally asked me I'm counting this as my first year. I've played against not even 3 teams. And so, for me, this is kind of my first year in the league and just figuring all that out. But yeah, I mean, they have the rule for a reason. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm not too worried on it. I think I'm just, really excited to familiarize myself with the league, with the teams, playing against all of them and just getting better with my team.
Thanks, Sabrina.
Last question, Lauren Moses.
Hi, Sabrina. This is Lauren Moses from Bally Sports. It's been very evident that your confidence is, still very high. And a lot of, your teammates and coaches have talked about that being one of the things that they see a lot in practice from you. What are your goals this season for yourself? Obviously, joining your team that's coming off of a rough season. But personally, what do you want to, prove to yourself this season after, going through basically a year's worth of rehabbing?
Yeah, I just want to get healthy and stay healthy. I think that's, the main thing, taking care of my body and figure out what I need to do. But on the court, I mean, it's just do what I've been doing my entire career, is just having fun doing what I love and helping those around me in whatever they need to do and finding ways to win. And so I'm very excited for the opportunity to do that. Healthy now, playing the game, I love with teammates around me that are great and coaches around me that are great. And so I just can't wait. I'm excited for this season and really just taking it one day and one step at a time and being where my feet are and excited for what's to come.
Thanks, Sabrina. Next up, we have Jazz Jones. Jeff Magliochetti.
Jasmine, thank you for joining us today. Jeff Magliochetti here with Empire Sports Media, Winsider, and Nets Republic. So basically, you went through everything there was to go through for a rookie during the 2020 season, and you couldn't even play in your home arena on top of it. How do you top what you did in 2020? In short, what are your goals for the 2021 season?
Just to be better than I was last year, for real. Being more consistent. And just working on my personal growth on and off the court and, being better than I was last year.
As training camp comes to an end, do you think you've made a headway in accomplishing those goals?
Yeah, I think I'm getting better, especially with the people we have on the team, especially Sammy, learning from her every single day because she's a champion.
her basketball IQ is phenomenal. So just learning from her every single day.
Appreciate your time. Have a great year.
Thank you.
Just want everybody to know, out of an abundance of safety, Jazz is wearing a chin strap. Nobody's in that room with her. Jackie Powell.
Hey, Jazz, good to see you. I wanted to ask you something that I asked Leisha, actually. So, you were in the bubble, last year, but you weren't playing in New York, and you weren't playing for the New York fans and the New York community. So what I want to know is, how exactly have you thought about, that change and that concept of actually playing in New York? And how are you going to incorporate this idea into your game that you're playing for the city and the community?
First things first, I'm excited to play in a home arena in front of fans, because I'm the type of person and player that feeds off the crowd's energy. So it's going to be awesome for me playing in front of fans, and just going out there, being myself, being my calm, collective, cool self on the court. And just, having fun. First you play for your teammates first, and you play for your family, and you play for the fans, so we could grow our fan base eventually, and so more and more people come in every single game, bringing their cousins, aunties, everybody coming to games. So just going out there to have fun, get as much fans as we can possibly this year.
Brilliant. And so I also wanted to ask about the photo shoot that happened this past weekend. How was that, and what were some of the things that the Liberty had you do?
It was cool. I like taking pictures, doing the in-game arena stuff. It's just regular marketing day stuff, in-game arenas, hype ups, pictures with teammates, pictures with college teammates, like me and Kylie took a picture. It was cool.
Did you get to do the scream? I saw.
Lay did that part. I just did the defense and welcome to the 25th anniversary, stuff like that.
Sarah Valenzuela.
Hey, Jazz, good to see you again. I'm over here somewhere. I don't know where you're. Just coming into this season, as compared to the way you came in last season, do you feel more prepared, more confident with the team that you are going into?
Yeah, of course. I had a good rookie year, so just coming into my second year with more confidence, especially with the team we have, just building on that first year, and then watching a lot of film too. That builds confidence too, because you're learning the game. I'm learning the game every single day in practice too, more and more. So yeah, definitely building my confidence, offensively and defensively too.
Yeah.
Raphael Haynes.
Hey, how are you doing? It's Raphael Haynes with the 3-point conversion. Got a 2-part question. First question is, I know it's the 25th season, but I have to ask you, what was your welcome to the WNBA moment, if you had one yet? And then who was the funniest teammate you have? Like, whether it's one or two, who was that teammate that's always got you laughing, and then not just you, but the team itself?
My welcome to the WNBA moment would be my first game I played in last year, the Dallas game, when I got my first tech and had to come up out that money. So that was my welcome to the league moment right there. And then the funniest teammate this year, I would have to say, besides myself, I would say Joyner and Didi. And no, Joyner, Didi, and Banaja, and Sabrina. Them four right there, yeah. They got some jokes. They funny. I can't even say what they do, but trust me, they funny.
Sabrina?
Yes. Sab is hilarious.
Miles Ehrlich.
Hey, Jazz. First of all, thank you for always bringing so much energy, and especially today. I know it's a long day for you and for all of us. and we've talked about this a lot before, but you've talked about playing out of position and getting some minutes at point guard for the first time since high school. With Sabrina back now, Sammy in the mix as a ball handler, have you moved back to the 2 more?
I mean, in practice, we switch up the lineups. I'll play lead guard or I'll play off the ball. So just switching it up between 2 positions right now. But it's still like our offense is basically like positionless. So whoever gets the rebound, they can take it down the court and initiate the offense for real.
Great. And in the offseason, how do you anticipate that? How do you work on your game at the 1, at the 2, knowing what the coaching staff wants for you? Are you just kind of playing wherever you are and then just making sure whenever you get the ball, you're going to push it in transition? Is that how you best prepare for that?
I mean, yeah, just working on your overall game because you never know what's going to happen. Like last year, you never know what's going to happen. I got thrown into the point guard position, and just thankfully, like over that, going into my rookie year, I was, working on more ball handling and things like that, tightening up my handles, making reads off the pick and rolls and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Great. Thanks so much, Jess.
Tim Crowley.
Hey, Jess, Tim Crowley, WRHU. After that last game in September last year, I'd asked you about how excited you were for the future of your positional group. So after these couple of weeks of camp, how excited are you for the impact that your group can make and, being able to play with guards like Sabrina and Sammy, and what kind of group that you 3 can make?
It's going to be fun. It's going to be easier too, because with their two basketball IQs, they make the game much easier. They make reads much easier on the court. And of course, Sammy's going to demand a lot of attention because of her shooting ability. So that's going to open up more driving lanes for the off guards and things like that. So just having them 2 on the floor together this year and playing alongside with them in practice, how we've been doing, it's been fun. It's been fun because the chemistry is getting better every single day, and it's just making the game easier.
Great. Thank you.
Alex Strum.
Hi, Jazz. Thanks for sitting down with us. Alex Strum, Nets Daily. So it's obvious that there's at least kind of a spotlight on this team this year. I mean, you guys are tipping off the season against the Fever pretty soon. Have you guys felt the spotlight? Has the team felt the pressure, or not really?
I mean, we just looking forward to getting to play in front of our home fans in Barclays, having somewhat a normal season. So, I mean, we won 2 games last year. So what the pressure is to win 3 this year? Ooh. All right, so I feel like we're going to be good this year. We're going to be good. We have some great new additions to the team. We got Beck coming back. Stokes is coming back from overseas. We got Tosh coming back soon. So, and then having Sammy Bonaja, and Sab back. And with all the rookies we had last year, I mean, we're going to be fine this year. I guarantee I could put my check on it that we're going to win more than 2 games.
That's fair. Thank you.
Last question, Rafiq Lewison.
This is Rafiq with Nothing But That Sports Talk. I just want to ask you, since you're opening up against the Indiana Fever this week, why don't you tell me how difficult a player Tiffany Mitchell is to guard?
Oh, Tiff is definitely hard to guard because she's so versatile. Tiff can light it up from anywhere on the court. So just making her catches tough for her and basically trying to keep the ball out of her hands. Same thing with Kelsey. So them 2, like some sharpshooters, can get to the rim, and they play with such great pace, and they have a high motor. So it's going to be a great matchup. I'm looking forward to Thursday and looking forward to the first game this year.
Thank you, Jazz. Next up, we have Joyner Holmes. Apologies, we had to switch up the schedule, everyone, due to some appointments that some of the players had. Give us 1 second. All right, please raise your hands if you have questions for Joyner Holmes. Rafiq Lewison.
Hey, I just want to know, since I already asked Jasmine this question, I want to get your opinion on how difficult is it to go up against Tiffany Mitchell, since the Indiana Fever is the first team you play this season.
Well, I was honestly just playing with Tiff against Tiff in Israel, so I already got kind of a feel for Tiff. But I mean, Tiff is fast. Like she can catch you off guard. She can shoot from the mid range, from the three. She can get to the basket. So I think just trying to stay in front of her and kind of giving her a little space because she obviously is. She has a really quick first step. But Tiff is an amazing player, so I'm excited, and I'll be excited to see her too.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Joiner, thank you for joining us today. Jeff Magliochetti here with Winsider, Nets Republic, and Empire Sports Media. This time around, it's a bit of a more stable situation on a league-wide perspective because playing in your own town, and you have worked with some of these players before in the past. How comforting has that sense of training camp stability felt this time around?
Like I was just talking to them out there. I think training camp is going well for us. We're kind of getting a feel for each other a lot, and me and Kylie are getting a lot of reps. And so I think that's really good going into the game this weekend. I think that's really good for both of us, kind of getting a feel for our teammates. I know we're all kind of in new positions and we're playing with new people. And so I think just us getting reps and us just understanding our teammates and stuff like that and understanding the plays and the reads that we're looking for, I think we're all comprehending that really well. And so I think we're on the right track.
From your perspective, how much has the rebounding improved since the scrimmage? Because Coach Hopkins said he wanted to work on that when you guys came back from Connecticut. So as an interior presence, how has that improved in your eyes? And in your opinion, what adjustments have been made?
I think we all, after leaving the game at Connecticut, I think we all knew that we had to crack down on rebounding. And so I think that was a big focus for just everybody coming in. I think also going into practice, you kind of focus on the things that you need to work on, but also just knowing that, okay, we struggled with rebounding, and that's what we need to, truly just hone in on and know, we're going to have to rebound, especially against Indiana. I mean, they have some big girls over there. And so obviously I know we have to know that we have to box out and we have to get the ball in order for us to push and transition and run. So I think it was just a big focus for us, especially me and Kylie as the bigs. I think just a big focus for us, just trying to hone in on cracking down, like I said, with Indiana, just their size and everything. So I think we know, we have to focus on that for sure.
Appreciate your time. Have a great year.
Thank you. You too.
Raphael Haynes.
Hey, Joiner, Raphael Haynes with the three-point conversion. It's media day, so we have to keep it light. So I have a two-part question. The first question is, what is that hidden talent that you have? And then the second part is, Jazz was on here talking about who was funny. She mentioned Sabrina, and I think she mentioned you. And but either or, I want to ask you, who do you think is the funniest teammate or some of your funny teammates?
So as far as hidden talent, what do you mean? Basketball?
Besides basketball, anything else besides basketball?
I'm a really good tennis player, so that's my hidden talent. I would say the funniest person on the team after me, because I'm not going to give nobody no credit before me, but after me, maybe Jasmine, maybe Didi, but Naj is really funny, and Sav too. So yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next question, Jackie Powell.
Hey, Joiner. Good to see you. I guess maybe you could help Sabrina with some of those tennis skills, because I'm sure you've seen the Nike ad where she's trying to play tennis and it's just not working out.
I talked to her about it the other day, actually.
Incredible. Anyway, so you're talking about how both you and Kylie are able to get a lot of reps, maybe more than last season. Right. So what I want to know is how sort of the Liberty in general and how you are looking at load management, making sure you're working hard in practice, but also making sure that you take care of yourself and preserve your body just to preserve injury.
I mean, we have, just a great staff all around. Miss Terry is always there for us at any point in time. So, I mean, honestly, whenever you feel like a tweak in your body or whatever, like yesterday, just going to the table and letting her know. And we also have a bunch of treatment times before practice, after practice, and massages and stuff. So just getting in there and knowing, honestly, like they say every day when we come in the huddle, just knowing your body, honestly, not trying to go too hard every day, but just knowing your body and how far you can push yourself. I think that's the key to just getting through training camp, honestly. But I'm enjoying it, a lot of reps. It means, you're learning more and you're taking everything in. So I think, like you said, a lot better than last year. So, but just continuing to watch my body and everybody else.
Brilliant. So I just want to ask you about what Jazz just said. She came on and she said that she could put a bet, or she puts a check on that you guys are going to win more than 2 games this year. How do you respond to that?
I agree. I mean, you go into the season obviously wanting to win games, and obviously way more than 2. So I think that's what we're striving for. Honestly, I think we have a good team this season. I think we're gelling and we're coming together as we should. I know it's still early, but just the sites like in practice, the voices and everybody just talking and feedback and stuff like that, I think we'll be a really good team this year. And I mean, obviously you strive to win more than 2 games. So I think that'll be very present for us this year.
Thanks so much, Joyner.
Thank you.
Akeem Balaam.
Akeem Balaam, BeyondTheW.com. Best of luck to New York this season. I just wanted to ask, between this year's team and last year's team in the bubble, like what aspects do you feel like from that are on this year's team do you feel like we're probably missing from last year's team?
I would say, in my opinion, I don't think we were really missing pieces last year. I think just learning a new offense, I think it was like a lot for us to take in, especially running the dribble drive. So I think the more comfortable we've gotten with it this year, and like us as rookies from last year, we're allowed to like talk to the rookies and talk to the new people about like, they kind of have similar questions that we had last year. So us being able to answer those questions and not putting so much stress on our coaches and stuff like that, I think it's helped us a lot. I don't think we were missing pieces last year. I just think obviously getting into a new offense and the offense that we're running, it's pretty challenging, but like knowing like the details and knowing what we're looking for and the reads that we're looking for, I think we've like honed in on that this year. And I think that's helped us a lot. So I don't think necessarily we were missing pieces last year. I just think everything was new, So it's kind of a little difficult to adjust. And the season that we played and how quick it went, like it was just a lot.
Thank you, Joyner. Next up, we have Kylie Shook.
Thank you.
Please raise your hand if you have questions for Kylie. Miles Ehrlich.
Hey, Kylie. Miles Ehrlich with Nets Republic, Winsider, and Queen Ballers Club. On Thursday night, 144 premieres, the ESPN's documentary executively produced by Shanae Gumake. How aware were you last season of the filming? And with some distance now, how do you reflect back on your experience in the Bradenton bubble?
Honestly, I wasn't very aware that they were filming, but I think it's a neat thing. I can't wait to watch it. She's great at putting everything together. So back to the bubble, though. The bubble was interesting, especially for it being my first WNBA season, but it was just a probably once in a lifetime scenario. So you got through it, made it a great experience for myself. And
Great. And a quick follow up on that. Despite this being your second year in the league, or your second year with New York, it's your first year in New York. While I know there's been a lot of hotel time, what have been your early impressions of Brooklyn, at least in whatever capacity you've been able to enjoy it so far?
Yeah, well, haven't really been able to do very much of anything, but I mean, it's a nice place. All I really get to do is walk to practice, come back. But I mean, the people I'm in the facility with, even if they live here, they're all nice, genuine people. So that's basically what I can read off so far.
Chris Sharon.
Hey, Kylie. Walt said earlier, this camp has seen him and the coaching staff be able to teach nuance to you all instead of basics. There's a lot of sophomores there. So how much more fluid has this camp been than last year's camp?
I definitely think it's more of a faster pace than it was last year, because last year it was stopping, teaching, getting more so into details versus us being able to play and build more chemistry. It was more chopped out versus just fluent, like you mentioned.
And Joyner talked about you and her getting reps and understanding your teammates. And as you get closer and closer to that first game against Indiana, how much has that helped?
I would say a lot, because last year we had 2 vets in front of us in our place. So I guess getting more reps has really helped us learn where people are going to be, where we need to be, certain kickouts, just where we are on the floor. So I think it's definitely helped.
Thanks, Kylie.
Thank you.
Azar?
Hey, Kylie. Hey, I was basically wondering, last season you guys went 2-20. If you could just speak on how difficult a process that was. I mean, and the toll it took physically and mentally, because you guys came into a bubble not knowing what to expect, and then unlike other seasons or previous seasons playing in any sport, you don't have time to just, when you lose a game, get ready for like a day or two to get ready for the next game. It's the next game the next day and trying to get reps. So if you can just explain the struggles from last season going into the relief of this.
Yeah, it was definitely tough losing that many games, especially most of the people on the team all came from winning cultures. So like you said, though, having back-to-back games, it's kind of like you just have to brush it off and keep moving. I mean, I feel like last year, every day we came in practice, every day we came into the game, and we always pushed our hardest. It was just the fact of we had 6-7 rookies that it was our first time. I mean, that's a lot to take in. And then on top of that, back-to-back games, we don't have any scouts. All these players are amazing players in the W. So you're coming against the best with an hour, 2 hours to train for them. So I think that's mainly just how we kept motivated.
All right, 2 more questions. Jackie Powell, then Jeff Magliochetti. Thank you.
Hey, Kylie, good to see you. So I want to ask you a little bit about something that Joyner said. And so she was telling us that on defense, that other teams are going to be able to feel you guys. So what do you think she meant by that? And how do you hope that the fans react to the type of defense that you guys are going to be playing?
I think from day one, we've really overemphasized that defense is going to be an amazing, like our strict part of how we play. So I think our fans will definitely love, I hope, when we get stops, when we are aggressive. I think that's the main thing, is just being aggressive. When she says they're going to feel us, like they're going to feel us at all times on the court, whether they're cutting across the lane, whether they're posting up. Like aggression is what we need on defense. And I think that's what we're going to focus on.
Brilliant. And so I've gotten to ask Michaela about how it is to be reunited with you, but I haven't asked you how it is to be reunited with Michaela. She's talked about how you've helped her a ton, but how does it feel to have someone there with you on this journey that has known you since you were a teenager?
Yeah, no, it's great. Michaela, she's always been an amazing person, character-wise off the court. So when you put us on the court, it's like AAU times. But no, I think our chemistry is still there. She listens. She's very coachable. So when you say something, it sticks with her. So just us being on the court is great. I mean, it always makes me feel comfortable. I know I can depend on her. So I'm ready.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Kylie.
Kylie, thank you for joining us today. Jeff Magliochetti here with Empire Sports Media, Winsider, and Nets Republic. Welcome back. Early on in this season, you're going to take on an expanded role in the interior, especially with Natasha Howard and Kia Stokes still fulfilling their international duties. What has given you the confidence that you can fulfill this role, and where have you improved the most from last season in the Wubble to this training camp process?
I would say my coaches and teammates, they're always positive. They're always helping me. But I would just say what I've improved on is being comfortable, for one, because it is my second year. For two, I've also had time to train, to build my confidence. And for three, just having a normal training camp, being able to build chemistry with the new players and the vets. The vets are very helpful as well, like telling me where I need to be, how I could have maybe finished better or relocated on the court. So I think that's definitely given me confidence as well.
A lot of the younger players have always singled you out as someone who has really taught the system to them in the early going. How does it make you feel to be, an elder stateswoman of sorts, pardon the elder term, of course, to be an elder stateswoman amongst young players at such a young player, having played just over 20 games in this league so far?
I mean, I think it's a confidence boost hearing that I'm actually helping people, but I just take it from the people that I've learned from, like Zowie, Stokes, Kia Nurse, all of our vets last year. They were all very talkative on what we need to do. So I guess it kind of just carried over into this year. Like Walt said, one of the biggest things, Walt and Dustin, is communication. So I try to carry it over, and I'm comfortable. Like you said, I have Michaela, I have Jazz, like I have people that I've known for years. So it's kind of just like communicating with friends.
Appreciate your time. Have a great year.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Kylie. Next up, we have Nay Odom. Reminder to please raise your hands if you have questions for Nay. Alex Strum.
Sorry, I was having some trouble unmuting myself. Hi, it's nice to meet you. Last year, Coach Hopkins praised your defense, and this year, it's been made clear to us at least that that's a big part of what this team is striving to be. It's something you guys are working on at the beginning of camp to the end of the camp. How do you see yourself as a part of that? What do you bring defensively?
Just the same things I brought last year, trying to be the go-to shutdown defender and, help everybody else with their assignments. If they need help, I can go guard their player or whatnot. That's just what I want to do.
Thank you.
Next up, Miles Early.
Hey, Nay. Gonna keep talking about defense because I know that that's your favorite part of your game. Last year, you stated that your goal was to one day become a Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously, Natasha Howard isn't here yet, but you'll be sharing a huddle with someone who's already achieved that accolade. And Banaja Laney was first team all defense last season. How have you leaned on Banaja Laney so far, and how do you plan to talk to Natasha Howard and lean on these new veterans as you continue that improvement on that end of the court?
I'm just going to pick their brains, ask questions, what they did, how they got to where they are now at this time in their careers, and just go from there.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Nay, good to see you. Thanks for being here with us. So I want to ask you about the fact that you guys don't play in another preseason game or scrimmage before opening day. What are the advantages and disadvantages to that going into Friday?
Well, we get to save our legs, so I guess that's an advantage there. But, we don't get that time to really click in that chemistry of like playing in the game together. So I guess that's a disadvantage.
And also, how are the Liberties sort of looking at load management, making sure that you all are working hard, but also taking care of your bodies, in light of the fact that Jocelyn went down?
They've been very proactive in that regards. They've been, if we need something done, we can go get it done, whether that's treatment or rehab. If we feel something that's not really right, we can, go tell Terry and she'll help us out. I mean, they're very good with, if we need a lighter day, then we'll have a lighter day, but the next day will probably be a little bit harder. So
thanks so much, Nay. I appreciate it.
Chris Sharon.
Thanks, Nay, for the time. Appreciate it. Being someone who grew up in this area, it's something that Coach Patterson said really struck a chord with me, and that was create a culture. We're blue collar. This is New York. This is what we do. It reminds me a lot of the teams I grew up watching. So can you just maybe expound on what Coach Patterson was trying to say there?
Honestly, I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay, fair. Thank you.
Julianne Vianney Brain.
Hi, Nay. Julianne here with Yes Network. I just want to ask you personally what your goal is this season. What did you work on most about your game in order to maybe get a little bit better this year and add a little bit more to this squad this season? What did you hone in on?
I definitely worked on my three-point shot, but more importantly, I think communicating. I wasn't a big talker last year, so really just being loud and encouraging my teammates. That's something I really focus on because that's the little things that you can do. I mean, you can control it. You can't always control like good shooting or whatnot because you can have an off night. So really just communicating.
Great, thank you.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Hey, thank you for joining us today. Jeff Magliochetti here with Empire Sports Media, Winsider, and Nets Republic. So, you've gained a bit of a reputation in this league a little bit, almost like one of the best kept secrets of the bubble coming out. I mean, you've been on DeWanna Bonner several times, including in the scrimmage the other night. How does it feel to have these expectations put on you a little bit, and how do you counter them and, work with them, almost use them to your advantage?
I like being the go-to defender, so it's really not like anything that I stress or worry about. I mean, I do my film work, I do everything that I need to do to prepare for the game, and just go out there and do what I need to do and do the little things for my team.
And you mentioned it's hard to build chemistry and camaraderie with the lack of preseason games, but do you think you guys have accomplished those goals in practice? And if so, can you name an example perchance?
I don't have a particular example, but I just know like the game is definitely flowing better. You could see people like starting to spark a little bit more, and things are just coming together. So you can definitely tell that the chemistry is, building, especially when we play a little bit more live. We're trying to stay a little light, so we kind of avoid live a little bit more. But the times that we do play, it's definitely building the chemistry.
Appreciate your time. Have a great year.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nay. Next up, we have Michaela Onyenwere.
Oh, God.
Miles Ehrlich.
Hey, Michaela. Miles Ehrlich with Winsider, Nets Republic, and Queen Ballers Club. Your energy and positivity have been on full display throughout camp and around social media, but I can't imagine that it's been a seamless transition to travel across the country and dive into a new career with such a quick turnaround. What have you done, or who have you leaned on to help take care of your mental health as you've taken this gigantic step in your career?
Yeah, it's definitely been a whirlwind with finishing college and moving out here and just having everything in training camp in less than a month. It's definitely been crazy, and having our first game in less than a week, it's definitely been a crazy just turnaround. But just having my friends and family, everybody's just so supportive of me and so proud of me. And so it's easy to lean on people like my friends and family. And I check in with them and like tell them like just little nuances of what goes on here and just little kind of updates in my life. So that's definitely been really important for me in this stage of my life.
Thanks so much.
Of course.
Danny Barlavi.
Hey, Michaela, thanks for taking the time today. When we spoke to Coach Patterson earlier, she said she was really impressed with your three-point shooting in camp. I was wondering if you could speak a bit about your approach to shooting during training camp and, what steps you've taken to grow your game in that regard.
Yeah, I think that obviously in college, that was something that I definitely needed to work on. As the years went on, I think it definitely got better. But in this offense, we're going to really shoot threes. And so that's something that I really needed to, hone in on and get better at. And so I'm trying to be in the gym before or after practice and just getting up shots and kind of just setting my feet in that way and just getting more comfortable with shooting the three. And it's been working so far. And so I'm just super, super grateful for that. We're just going to continue to get better in that skill.
B. Terrell.
Good afternoon, Michaela. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. My name is B. Terrell. I'm with Made for the W. And so you were recently announced as an addition to the Nike family. Just a while ago, you posted the new Kyrie 4 Keeps You Freshes. So how does that feel to be part of Nike along with possibly wearing a pair of kicks of someone that you'll be competing against?
Honestly, it's just so crazy. Like, I have been just thinking about being a Nike athlete for as long as I even knew it was really possible. Having a teammate like Jordan Canada, where I would go into Santa Monica and see her face on like the Nike store outlet, which is crazy. And so from that moment, I knew that I wanted to join the family. And so I'm so super grateful that I was able to have this opportunity. Shout out to my agent, Allison, for just getting that together as well. But yeah, it's definitely cool. The shoes, the gear, the clothes, just everything that they've sent me so far, I'm honestly in awe every single time I open up a package. So I'm so happy about that. And like you said, with the Keeps You Fresh shoes, I just actually read about that the other day. And then so then to now have them is so, so cool. And Sue Bird is obviously a legend. She'll go down as one of the best to ever play the game in the W. And so it'll be weird to like be wearing her shoes, but I'm definitely gonna, you know, put them on when we play Seattle just so she can, you know, see that.
Alex Sturm.
Hi, Michaela. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for sitting down with us today.
Of course.
Alex Sturm, Nets Daily. We saw you the other day during marketing day, taking photos on social media. Can you kind of talk about what that was like? Your teammate said that we were on the Barclays court. Can you talk about that experience?
Yeah, media day for me is always so fun. Being able to like get really pretty and take pictures and videos and be with your teammates is always so cool. So I really enjoyed myself. I had like a 3-hour window or so, and just to be able to talk to the photographers and just everybody who was involved was so fun. So I had a great first media day. I cannot wait for the pictures. You're definitely gonna see my posts on Instagram, so y'all just like tune in and watch out for those.
And if I could ask a follow-up, you were just talking about Sue Bird and how you're looking forward to playing her and showing off your shoes. Is there anyone else on the schedule you're looking forward to matching up against? Anything you've circled?
I wouldn't say for a player's sake, but I'm really excited to go back to LA. Obviously, my teammates and my coaches are all out there, and so that'll be really cool to be able to see them again. But I wouldn't say I have like a specific player. My favorite player is Elena Delle Donne, so it'd definitely be cool to like see her in person. But that's what I would say as far as that question.
Thanks. Have a good season.
Thank you.
Raphael Haynes.
Hey, Michaela, Raphael Haynes from the 3-point conversion. Hopefully we get a shout out on your Instagram, or I'm just kidding. But no, I want to ask you a 2-part question. First, do you have any other talents, like hidden talents besides basketball that you have? And then second, who is the funniest teammate so far, or a couple if you want to name, so far in training camp?
Okay, for your first question, I'm like okay at braiding. Like I can, if you consider that a talent, like, but other than that, like basketball is really it for me. And then the funniest teammate I have is definitely Jasmine Jones. She is comedy every single day in the locker room, on the court. Just everything that she says, I'm laughing at, and just she's really, really goofy, but she's really fun to be around.
Karina Mustafa.
Hi, nice to meet you. Karina from Venus Sports. I was just wondering, because everyone that's been here so far on Media Day, your lashes look amazing. So I just want to know, like, where do you guys get your lashes done?
Yeah, so I actually wear my individual lashes. That's something I've been doing for a while. My mom and I actually did it like when I was probably like a freshman in high school is when I really, really started it. So I'm like super happy that it's definitely caught on, and like a lot more women are doing it because they're just so pretty. So like, you know, it's great. But I go to like a lash tech usually. And so I found like different ones. Like in LA, I have one, and in California, I had one. And so just continuing to do that is really, really cool.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Michaela. Good to see you. Thank you for being here with us. So we talked to your coach, Shelly Patterson, earlier, and I guess this is building off of Danny's question earlier. And so Shelly basically called you a mini Jocelyn, and she really thinks that you can really step into a lot of the role that, you know, Jocelyn is going to have this year. So how are you taking that in, and how are you going to, I guess, be leaned on, do you think, in that role?
Yeah, it's actually my first time hearing that. But obviously, like, super unfortunate that we lost Jocelyn. Like, she's such a great teammate and a great just spark on our team, super vocal, a lot of energy, super consistent. And so to be compared to her is obviously such an honor. And so if there's anything I can do on my team this year, if that's to be a mini Jocelyn, like you said, or do whatever my team needs, that's exactly what I'll do. And so I'm excited for the season to start, excited for us to just start competing against people other than ourselves. So it'll be definitely a fun year.
And to follow up, so in the past week, we've seen Asia Wilson appear in a music video with Sweetie, and we've seen Sabrina in a Nike campaign with global superstar Rosalia. And so I'm bringing these crossovers up because I think they're significant. So why do you think the crossovers between sport and music are important right now?
I think it's so important, especially for women's sports, just to have that visibility and that representation. It places us outside of the box of just being an athlete, and to see Asia in a music video like that was so cool. It opens the doors for so many women in sport and basketball, and so to see that collision of pop culture and music and basketball and seeing the avenues that it's open for women's basketball is so cool. And I think it'll continue to open those doors. And so where women's athletes are not just athletes, they're super versatile, and they're able to do a lot more than just what they do on the court, the field, or whatever it may be. So it's definitely cool, obviously, to see Asia in a music video. And then, like you said, Sabrina in a Nike commercial. And I hope that continues for women for years to come.
Thanks so much, Michaela. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thanks, Michaela. Next up, we have Dee Dee Richards.
Thank y'all.
Just a reminder that Dee Dee loves media, so, re-raise your hands. Let's maybe just continue with one and a follow-up, and then we're going to get as many questions answered as we can, because this is Dee Dee's absolute favorite thing to do. So let's start with Lois Elfman.
I look disgusting.
Because I said I couldn't raise my hand. So building on the lash question, I was going to ask a lash question also. Your lashes during the NCAA tournament were fabulous. So will you have some sort of lash deal heading into the Liberty season?
It makes it hard considering there's a lot of different fines going around the WBA. So yeah, I'm gonna go find some strips that are extra long that can match like my individual vibe. But I'm on the lookout right now to find some strips. So if y'all have any idea what strips are, can help me, please do.
And in other words, beyond glamour aspects, what are you looking forward to this season in terms of you come out of a highly competitive college program where people who've come from this program have had great success in the league. What are you looking forward to this year?
Just, new faces, and playing against people that you kind of looked up to your whole college career or before you got into college. Like, I can't wait to see Diana Taurasi or Candace Parker on the court. And so just little things like that, playing against people that you've been looking up to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pepper Pursley.
Hey, Dee Dee. This is Pepper Pursley with The Next. It's great to talk with you. So, I was just curious about the origin of your puffs. So, like, power pigtails are really big for me as a young athlete. So what was the origin of that for you?
My mom. So like way back when I didn't like sports, I wanted to be super girly, nails done, hair done. And my mom was like, you can do it. I promise you can be girly and be good at sports. And I'm like, no, I can't. And she's like, yes, you can. So whenever she would brush my hair, that was her way of making it girly for me. It was putting my hair in 2 ponytails, and I like to stand out. And she was like, just put your hair up or roll your shorts up or do little things like that. So I started doing that. And so that all came from my mom.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Miles Ehrlich.
Hey, Dee Dee. Miles Ehrlich with Nets Republic, Windsider, and Queen Ballers Club.
Mm-hmm.
During your IG takeover the other day, we got some behind the scenes as you all tried on the new jerseys. How would you rank the three, the Heroine, the Explorer, and the Rebel Edition?
Oh my goodness. I definitely want to say the Seafoam is first. All those bright colors look so good on my chocolate skin. So that one's first. And then the black one is a really close second because all girls look good in black. It makes you look a little slimmer and it takes in your waist a little bit. And just those two are my favorite right now. The other ones, they're tied for third.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Christina Williams.
Hey, Dee Dee, how are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
It's Christina with Girls Talk Sports TV. So this past week, we've seen A'ja Wilson in a video for Saweetie, and we've been seeing like this cross of, culture and basketball, specifically women's basketball. What do you think just seeing that visibility means for the sport?
It's definitely just opened up a lot of doors for women's sports or different athletes across the globe. They're definitely paving the way. It's like Liz Cambage modeling for Savage X Fenty. It's little things like that that are just, paving the way for women's athletes not to just be an athlete. We're, bigger than athlete as the campaign was last year. So I think that is just further going into that campaign.
Chris Shern.
Hey, Dee Dee, thanks for the time. Coach Shelley said you could hear Dee Dee, she's very vocal, learning to take a back seat too, always asking for extra help. You were a leader, obviously, in college. What is that like? Is it walking a tightrope to be vocal at this level so young in your career as a rookie, or have the vets made it a little easier for you to share your voice as well?
Like you said, I was a leader before, and I had great followers at Baylor. People are just willing to follow you, and I think it's easy to do that when you have such good leaders leading you. With Jazz, Sabrina, Kylie, just all my older, Sammy and B, my older people, they make it easy. And like B was saying in practice the other day, if you're talking, you could be wrong and sound confident, but at least everybody behind you know what you're doing, and they can just follow you and, fix you along the way. So communication is a big thing in basketball, and that's why I've always been a loud vocal player on the court. It's because if I mess up, you're messing up with me type.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Julianne Biani Brain.
Hey, Dee Dee, Julianne with Yes Network. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Kind of following up on Chris's question, what's your biggest takeaway, or what did you learn the most through Baylor basketball and playing there at such a high elite level? How did it prepare you for the WNBA, and what aspect of your game do you think will help the Liberty in that regard?
Coming from Baylor, I think Coach Mulkey did a good job at, making the program seem like a league program type. We had to be early everywhere. We had to match. So like people, when they come in here and they have to match, it doesn't really catch me off guard because I was used to it. So I think she did a good job at preparing on that aspect. And I definitely think in my game, just, the energy, high defense, high intensity on the defensive end, and, just being able to be a sponge on the offensive end and being able to develop my game offensively. I think it'll be very effective in the W.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Raphael Haynes.
Hey, Diddy, how are you doing? This is Raphael Haynes from the 3-Point Conversion. I have a couple of questions for you. The first question is, do you have a hidden talent, any talent besides basketball?
I do not, unfortunately. I want to model, so being photogenic.
Okay. All right, so that leads me to my next question. Then I have one more question after this. Make it quick. So you talk about being photogenic. We all know during draft night, mom's got a lot of attention with Shaq and everybody and online and everything. How has she been taking that, and how have you been taking that?
I love it. My mom's beautiful, and I know that. So it's just good to see the world kind of take that in, because she's the face behind the face, like no one ever gets to see that. And I'm just happy that she got her little, her little shine. She loves it. My mom loves the attention. So as long as she loves it, I love it.
And then my last question is, who has been the funniest teammate so far during training camp?
Jazz and Joyner, Jasmine Jones and Joyner Holmes, they're like the funniest people I've ever met. And they make it easier out there. Walt might be killing us, but then Jazz will say something that makes me laugh. So then I'm not really dying. I'm like laughing and dying,
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Hopkins.
Hey, Dee Dee, thanks for taking the time to talk to us today. It's Hugh Hopkins from Sky Sports in the UK. The WNBA has been around basically your whole life. How aware of the league were you when you were growing up?
I'm one of those players that didn't really watch until we got to college. I'm not proud of that, but I just got aware of it maybe 2 years ago, and that's because Kalani Brown got drafted, and that was my road dog growing up at Baylor, and that's why I started watching it.
So in those recent years, then, just as a brief follow-up, in those recent years, there's been a lot of activity against things, against racism, and standing up for women's rights and that sort of thing. How important is that to you? And do you think you're going to get involved with that type of activity? And would you like to see the league do more of that activity now you're entering the league?
I definitely would love to see it happen more, and I'm pretty sure it will. I don't think, I think the problem with the world is that you kind of voice your opinion on something and you kind of leave it at that. I definitely think the league won't do that. I'm pretty sure they're gonna, exercise it a lot more this year as well as they did last year. And then I lost my train of thought for what you said. Oh, is it important to me? Definitely, being both of those things, a woman and a Black woman. So I'm definitely interested in it, and I'm definitely interested to fight for it, as well as, support whoever is willing to fight with me.
That's great. Thanks. Best of luck this season.
I like your accent.
Thank you.
Haley McGoldrick.
Hi, Dee Dee. It's Haley McGoldrick from Sportsnet. Last time we talked before the draft, you said you were super anxious, didn't even know what your next steps were, and now your whole demeanor's changed. You're so confident. Was it getting drafted that gave you that confidence, or in camp, or like you seem so, you're ready for your first game, you're set, you don't have any nerves anymore. So what's kind of changed since then?
Camp, getting your feet wet, really. I think I was real anxious before, and like I said in the previous meetings, I just wanted to get on the court or with my team or with the coach, and I was able to do that. I've been doing that for the past 2 weeks now. So if I'm not confident now, then they gotta get rid of me. I've got to stop laughing so loud, like literally.
Please, be Terrell.
Hey, Dee Dee, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well. So you're one of the newest additions to the Nike family. You have this big personality that everyone loves. So will we possibly see that personality infused into some of your custom kicks on the court this season?
Oh, I'm hoping. I've been getting a lot of shipment in, but I'm really bad. I have this bad habit of finding a shoe that fits my foot and wearing it for like 2 years. So Jazz Jones was just trying to tell me, Dee Dee, you get like 1,000 shoes a year. Can you please change your shoes? And I'm like, I guess. So I tried it today in practice. I had on the KVs today. So I think I'm going to bring out a little personality in my feet this year.
Okay. And so now if you had to choose, or if you had to rank off the court, what are your top 3 go-to kicks?
Off the court, okay, Crocs, because I hate wearing shoes, is number 1. 2, if I have to wear shoes, is Jordan 1s, high or low, it doesn't matter. And then 3, I want to say any kind of heel, because that means I'm going out somewhere and I got to get cute.
I love that. Thank you. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
I wish you guys could see the crowd reactions from Valerie and Jasmine at Dee Dee's answers. Next, let's go to Danny Barlavi.
Hi, this is Danny Barlavi from Winsider and Next Republic. So obviously we've talked a lot about how you really enjoy the media-facing marketing aspects of this job, and I know that you studied communications at Baylor. So would you say that you have a long-term interest in the marketing PR side of things, and could you speak to that a bit?
I definitely would love to, like down the line, or even like, in a couple of years, whenever you kind of get tired of going overseas, like playing the W and then be, on a Sports Center or TNT or something. I would love to do stuff like that, but I'm not in a rush to do any of that. I'm just trying to get comfortable here in New York, because there's so many opportunities in New York. So just trying to capitalize out here.
Thanks so much.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Dee Dee, good to see you. I love that you love doing media. That is great. So Joyner spoke to us about the defense that you guys have been working on a lot. And she said to us, other teams are going to feel us. People are going to feel us on the court. So how do you respond to that comment? And how do you hope that the fans react to the way that you guys play defense on the court?
I hope they buy into it as much as we do, for sure, because, having someone behind you loud other than the bench, that would be amazing. Like when you get a big stop, have the crowd go crazy. That'd be great. But just to piggyback on what Joyner said, that is something that we kind of work on a lot, which is very exciting for me if you guys know my game. But I definitely agree. We're going to be felt on the court, and if not, then we're going to cause some noise. So I'm just excited for y'all to see what we've been working on defensively.
Brilliant. And so we talked to Shelly Patterson earlier today, and I wanted to know how your 3-point shot is coming along. She told us that you have been working so hard. So if you could give us an update.
It's coming. Thanks to Dustin and Shelly P. It's coming, and I love that they're being so patient with me, because I'll get frustrated with myself on bad days or days that I'm a little tired. But with this coaching staff, I'm definitely going to figure it out, and I'm going to get it. So thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Dee Dee. Appreciate you.
Azar.
Hey, Dee Dee. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I wanted to ask you, what is as far as like so far since you've been with the Liberty, how has the pace been compared to the pace when you were playing at Baylor? Have you seen a difference in the speed and the weight and the height? Sometimes when a player comes in as a rookie, they, even as this coming from college, when you come in college as a freshman, it's a different speed. I hear a lot of rookies say that. So coming in as a rookie in the WNBA, is it a different speed or a different pace? Has it been, how challenging has it been?
I don't know. It's definitely different. It wasn't as drastic as going from high school to college, though, if you understand what I'm saying. It's not that huge of a difference, but it's something to get used to. But I think what makes it so different is their ability to change the pace. So I think Sabrina does a good job at, taking her time on ball screens, or not everything is as fast. I think in college, you only have one speed. In WNBA, you got to, learn how to probe a little bit in the offense and do little things like that. So I think that's the biggest thing I have to, kind of adapt to, is just learning how to change my speed.
Okay, cool. You look fine too, by the way. Don't worry about that.
Hi, Dee Dee. Great to see you again. Jeff Maglicetti here with Empire Sports Media, Winsider, and Nets Republic. So I think it would be fair to say, in some cases, really, that Kim Mulkey used you in a bit of a positionless setting over at Baylor. How did that help you adjust to what the Liberty are trying to do now in their current setup?
I definitely think it's, the same thing. She definitely prepared me for this. My freshman year at Baylor, I played post. Sophomore, junior year, I played wing. And the senior year, I played point guard. And I think that's the kind of approach that Coach Walt is taking with me, because I'm in every individual. I'm in the post individual, wing individual, and the point guard individual. So it makes it a little difficult because it's a new offense. So I'm trying to learn 4 different positions in this crazy offense. But I mean, it's nothing that I'm not going to be able to accomplish. So I'm just happy that he's trusting me.
Of course. And as someone who has, to say the least, developed a very strong social media presence, obviously knows what she's doing on there, you were able to take Baylor women's basketball, one of many people, and put them on the map, especially in a place where, there's a lot of other sports, but you guys managed to be at or near the top in many places. So how can the Liberty make a similar impact in a city that is dominated by sports? How can the Liberty push themselves higher into the New York sports conversation, coming from, a social media expert of sorts?
Definitely, like you said, with social media. I think social media is, a woman's way of, getting a step above the male athletes. Male athletes, they don't really know how to use social media. I'm not saying I don't know how to use it, but they're not as dominant using it as women are. So it's just being able to exercise our social media benefits, or being able to exercise little things like that, putting our faces places, because people love to look at our faces. So just places, things like that.
Appreciate your time. Have a great year.
Thank you.
Karina Mustafa.
Hi, Dee. Nice to see you again. So Coach Patterson mentioned that you have been very vocal and you've been asking for help when you need it. What has been the biggest takeaway from these practices for you?
I want to say just, you can't skip a beat. I have to pay attention to everything they're saying, or I'm going to be lost on that offensive possession. So just being like just locking in the whole time. I'm not saying that I'm just like a kind of like all the way all over the place, but I'm saying like if I go look at a water bottle or if I blink, I'm confused. So just being able to pay attention and locking in the whole practice.
Amazing. And how excited are you for your first WNBA regular season?
I'm so excited. I'm like, again, I'm anxious again, like I was before training camp started. So I'm just ready to get a game going so I can get the understanding, get in the flow, because the traveling days are crazy, I'm hearing. So I'm just ready to figure that part out.
Amazing. Have a great year.
Thank you.
Akeem Bellum.
Akeem Balaam, BeyondTheW.com. Best of luck to you and the team this upcoming season. What I wanted to ask was for Liberty fans that may be, just now getting introduced to you, what are some things that you want fans to know about DiDi Richards, the basketball player, as well as DiDi Richards, the person away from basketball?
The basketball player, I just want you to know that I'm a competitor. I play with a lot of intensity and a lot of energy. And I think my game is going, to say that before I can say it. And then about the person off the court, just someone that is always happy for the most part. I like to be around people. I don't like being by myself. And I just like to have fun. That's probably the biggest thing.
Great. Thank you, DiDi. Next up, we have Jasmine Bailey. Hugh Hopkins.
Oh, thanks. Hey, Jasmine, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. I asked this to DiDi earlier. I was sort of hoping to ask you a similar question. The WNBA has been around for 25 years now. That's, so it's basically been all your life. How aware of the league were you growing up? And how important has it been in your development?
I was a fan of the league, I always watch basketball with my family because we were like real sports fans. So when we stayed watching basketball to whatever you want to call it, but I'm a huge fan. It's a lot of talent that came through this league. Like one of my favorite players growing up was probably Cynthia Cooper. I think she was a monster. She was nice. So it's great. 25 years in this league, and it's plenty of talent that has played the game and more talent that's coming. So I feel like the game is growing a lot.
And just as a brief follow-up then, going forward, have you had ideas about how, there's been a lot of conversations in recent years, how the league needs to develop and to grow, and it's got a lot of momentum with it at the moment, but what ideas do you have that you think the WNBA needs to do to continue getting bigger and better?
More so, they're now televising more games and putting on a lot of different networks. And I think it's helping, and a lot of women just out there, being more active, now with social media, like a lot of people, the crowds are growing for women's basketball now more than before, so I think it's really great. And each year they're taking a bigger step to get the women's game more noticed and more televised, which is helping a lot. It's the summertime, so, a lot of people are always out doing things, but I think now a lot of people we're gonna get more notice to the league, which is great.
That's great. Thank you.
Alex Strom.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. Alex Sturm, Nets Daily. Can you talk about the coaching staff and how they've helped you, specifically Coach Jamelis, who's new but a former player, and how her experience has helped the team?
Her experience has helped the team. This is her first year coaching, so she's coming off from, being a player, and so her experience on and off the like being a player and being a coach now. Now that she see things like when she's a player, she see things a little differently from being a coach. As far as like communication is always a huge thing when playing basketball. Like you think it's not as big of a deal, but it's actually huge to help teams, to help each other out there on the court. So what she's bringing to us, like from a coaching perspective, after just playing, is extremely helpful.
And I was also wondering, you were just talking about the WNBA and things that can happen. And I know it's kind of a loaded question, but something that a lot of people have been talking about is the potential for expansion for the league, for adding new teams, because there are only 12 and there's a lot of talent, as your teammates have talked about today. Do you have any thoughts on a potential WNBA expansion?
I think an expansion would be great. Only, like you said, it's only 12 teams, so bringing more teams in the league will be helpful. It's a lot of great cities out there, and they're great sports fans. So adding a WNBA team will be great. Who doesn't like to watch basketball, especially women's basketball?
Thanks. Have a good year, or good luck.
Thank you.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Hey, thank you for joining us today. Jeff Magliochetti here with Empire Sports Media, Nets Republic, and Winsider. So, do you think, on a personal level, you were able to accomplish the goals you set out at training camp?
Yeah, I think I did. My purpose of coming to training camp, or like coming into training camp, was to just play, just be me. At the end of the day, either like it or you don't. But my thoughts wasn't coming in here, just to play my game and bring a lot of energy and effort. Like that's the only purpose. I'm not gonna come in here and just be lazy and just be here just to be here. You just have to come and just be ready each day.
And, as someone who has had a lot of basketball experience, you come onto this team, two rookies, all those sophomores, like we mentioned so many times. What's the best piece of advice you can offer them as they embark on this WNBA journey?
Just always stay ready, and always play your game, and always add a little more. Just always do more, even when you think it's not there, or you just feel like relax, just always do more, and just always stay ready, and always encourage each other to be better. Because at the end of the day, your teammates, you want everyone to grow, you want everyone to be better each and every day. You're only going to do that by staying together and just being there for each other.
Appreciate your time, Jasmine. Have a great year.
Thank you.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Jasmine, good to see you. Thanks for being here with us. So I wanted to know if you could recall for us a favorite memory from training camp.
Oh, my favorite memory. Probably like when we do drills, and we're like seeing each other knock down shots and just like enjoying each other and just like encouraging each other to like just keep hitting them, So I think that's probably one of my favorite moments in camp, always just, getting each other together and just encouraging each other always, and just, like making it a good positive atmosphere and energy to bring to one another and to continue on with the practice and everything.
So those ending celebrations that we sometimes see on social media, where everyone's like jumping around after someone makes a shot.
Yeah, it's just like a boost, and it just the intensity level and everything just keeps going up from all the encouragement and everybody just being together and just like, okay, let's keep this going.
Brilliant. And to follow up on that, I'm curious if you can help me characterize this roster. What are some of the common qualities that, your teammates share?
Everybody's kind of different in their own ways, Like, Jazz and Joy is probably one of the funniest teammates to have for sure. Everybody's super cool. It's not one person that's like off to the side or anything. Everybody is like a joy to be around and super entertaining and easygoing, always willing to help or whatever you need. Like everyone is like probably like super nice. Like I really enjoy them all.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Jasmine. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Chris Sharon.
Hey, Jasmine, Chris Sheeran from the Yes Network. We heard Coach Walt, we heard Coach Shelley both say that this is a blue collar team. We heard Joyner Holmes say they're going to feel us on defense. What would you say? How would you define the identity of this team as we're almost about to start this season?
I think the identity will probably be defense. You know, I mean, that's what we work on a lot. I mean, to start practicing, we start with defense, you know? So I think, I mean, you win basketball games with defense in transition, you know? So as long as we stay together, communicate, and just keep encouraging each other, I mean, defense and just running will be definitely our strong points for this team. I mean, because we definitely have a solid team this year. I mean, all around.
What are your expectations for this team this season?
My expectations are to just, you know, just just do what I can, do what I need to do when I'm out there on the court. Like whatever coach need to bring energy, to get some stops, to get transition buckets, to get, you know, some corner shots or anything going. Like that's my position, you know, just to fill in. And, you know, anytime you coming off the bench or doing anything, you bring more energy, you know, like you take it up a notch. So everyone follows you, you know, like you just keep encouraging, like, hey, let's go.
Thanks, Jasmine. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Last question, Rafiq Lewison.
Hey, I just want to know, like, how you enjoying media days so far up until this point?
Oh, you know, I think media day's pretty cool, you know? I mean, you guys ask a lot of great questions. I think you guys are pretty cool. So I like media day so far to this point, you know?
And if I could just follow up, like, how do you feel about the way that the New York Liberties adjusted to the offense and defense these past couple of training camps? So what is your like, which team are you looking forward to playing the most this season?
Which team am I looking forward to playing the most?
Yeah.
Will probably be either Phoenix or Chicago. I think they have a extremely talented roster.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jasmine. Everyone, last but certainly not least, we have Valerie Higgins. Please raise your hands and shout out to the people who have been here from the beginning of today's call. I know it's a little untraditional, but we thank you all for your support and coverage of this team. Miles Ehrlich.
Hi, Valerie. Miles Ehrlich with Nets Republic, Winsider, and Queen Ballers Club. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of basketball questions, but I need to ask you a really important question.
Okay.
On an IG Live last week, you said, and I quote, "The pizza here is so good. I absolutely love the pizza. It's the best thing I've had. It's the best thing I've had by far." What is the best spot that you've hit so far in your time in New York?
Okay, that's a great question. That's a tough one because I have tried, I think, 3 or 4 different places now, but I have to say there's a pizza place called Norm's Pizza, which is like literally directly underneath, I think, the hotel, and it is really good. The margarita pizza is one of my favorites, so I have to say Norm's for sure.
Awesome. I'm sure there are a lot more you're going to try over the season, so I'll have to keep asking.
Yes.
Jackie Powell.
Hey, Valerie, thank you so much for giving us your time. So I asked your teammate, Jasmine Bailey, I know there are 2 Jasmines, just now about memories. So, you know, you've been with this group since April 25th. I mean, that's a couple of weeks. So what has been your favorite memory from camp so far?
I would have to say my favorite memory was just the first individual that I had with Destin and Shelly P, and it was Mick. And just the energy, like I was so excited, you know, when we first got here, we had to quarantine for a few days and like get the tests and everything. So I was just ready. I was like, man, I can't wait to get into the gym. Like I've been holed up in this hotel, like just being able to get out on the floor and being with the coaches. And I think like that first day is going to be a memory that lives with me for the rest of my life. And it was just so much fun. So
that's very profound. So to follow up on that and change course a little bit, it's May, it is Mental Health Awareness Month, which is super important. And your teammate Dee Dee, she sort of told us that she feels like this team and this organization in particular, they really take mental health seriously. So can you share with us, in your experience, how they've shown that to you? And also, what is your advice for Liberty fans who might be struggling right now?
Yeah, so I think definitely it is important. Our trainer Terry got us in contact. They've added a whole bunch of new doctors and different people to help us. I think we got in contact with, I can't quite remember the name of who's on staff, but just having that outlet is something that, and getting us in contact with people is something that, just shows that it's an important thing to them. Some advice I would give is just find something that works for you. Because I think a lot of times you hear some people like saying, this is what works for me, and you try it and you kind of might get discouraged. But trying all different types of things, having an open mind, whether it's journaling, yoga, just finding something that, works for you is the best advice I can give.
Brilliant. I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much.
Jeff Magliochetti.
Valerie, thank you for joining us today. Jeff Magliochetti here with Empire Sports Media. Nets Republican, Winsider. So one of the things that attracted the Liberty to you was your defense. And I think it was Jasmine Jones said you had about 6 or 7 tips, like tip balls that led to turnovers in the scrimmage. So how do you think your defense improved since you got here? And has the team really, taken advantage of the defensive identity that Walt Hopkins seeks to create?
Most definitely. I think defense is something that I love. It's something that I take ownership in, I take pride in. I think it's one part of the game that you can really control. It's just a lot of effort and just being dialed in. Since I've gotten here, definitely defensive principles have been a little bit different. Every team has different offensive principles, but there's also defensive principles, which I don't think get enough touch upon. But just learning those things and listening to the coaching staff and what they want me to do, but also just bringing kind of my intensity and energy on the floor. So.
Thank you for your time. Have a great year.
Thank you.
All right, last question, Alex Strum.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm happy I can finish out the day here. And Norm's Pizza is right near my school, so I'm gonna have to go check it out. But you're one of many rookies on this team. Can you kind of talk about if there's like a group connection, you guys, how you guys have kind of, because it's a weird season with the pandemic and the quarantine in the hotel, as you talked about. Like the rookies, you guys, what's going on with you guys? I'm sorry.
It's okay. I think everybody's just embraced us, all of us rookies. I think as much as we have a connection, everybody on the team has just kind of taken us in and, whatever we need, just making sure that we're okay, making sure, places to eat, things like that. I know it's new for Brooklyn, for everyone, but I think the team is just really, even the coaching staff, everyone's just embraced us and is patient with us, making mistakes in drills or whatever it is. Just being able to have that support from our teammates has been huge.
And as a quick follow-up, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you might be the first women's basketball player to come from your program, from the first Tiger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you kind of talk about that program and what it's done for you, and maybe what it can do for the next person in your position?
Right. It's a huge honor, honestly, that I'm the first. I think I've said this before, but I just don't want to be the last. I want to be able to pave that way for people to have this opportunity to come to a training camp, be drafted to a team, and experience draft day, But it's a huge honor. I love that program with my whole heart, the school. I had an amazing college experience that, just being on a team full of great people and learning so much. And it just kind of gave me, I think, that confidence that I need to, take my game to the next level.
Thanks. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Valerie. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We will be sharing shortly.